Hi guys. So this is the afternoon session of A Day with Zenler. So as we run one in the morning time, and we had a few teething problems with the stream to start with, but now it's all kind of sorted itself out. So it's all good. We're all back up and running at full speed. By the way, the problem that we had this morning had nothing to do with Zenler or Zoom. It was actually a problem with Google Chrome. So there was a setting inside Google Chrome that kind of stopped it from playing. So people weren't seeing it properly. So I was advising to watch it in Edge or Explorer or Safari. But you can fix it easily by actually just turning off hardware acceleration. So I'm going to quickly show you how to do that now, just in case you guys are having that problem. So let me just screen share quickly, and then we'll run through. So what I'm going to do, just like the morning, is I'm going to show you our kind of help, where all our help is, where all our videos is, where our YouTube channel is. And then we're going to take it from there. So if any questions fly in, I'll be answering them. If not, I've got a little list of things I want to talk about, which will all be helpful for you guys. So I'm going to share my screen now, and I'm just going to jump in here. So the problem I had this morning basically was I was in Chrome, which I am now, and all I had to do was turn off the hardware. So I went down to this little three dots down to settings, and then inside here, I just typed in hardware. Okay, you can just put hard actually. And then I just turned off the use hardware accelerator when available. So if you do have a problem, just turn that off, just so that you know, okay? Just a quick one for you. So again, welcome to A Day with Zenler. This is our slot 2, our afternoon session. We'll be running this from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. BST time. And we ran one this morning that went well in the end. And we run that from 5 a.m. in the morning till 9 p.m. So I've had a 4-hour break just to have a bit of lunch. And now we're back. So we're going to see what questions fly in from you guys. And should be good. So I am now going to share my screen and just run through our help. So in Zenler, what we try to do is we try to give you maximum help with everything. So we've probably got about 95% of questions that you ask in the group covered already. A lot of you put questions in the group, and you know the Facebook group is really helpful. Everyone helps each other, and it's brilliant. But we do have the questions probably already answered in all of our courses and our YouTube channel. And plus there's other golden bits of nugget in there for you to find, you know, like a treasure hunter. So there's lots of good stuff inside of all our courses. So I'm going to just fly by and give you a quick look at it all. So let's jump into the main resource that we have, which is tutorials.newzenler.com. And please note that everything you see on the platform, and even all our live streams that we do, all of our webinars that we hold, all our workshops we do, any live classes, everything is done through Zenler, okay? Everything. So just so that you know. So it is through the Zenler platform. We try not to use any other system if we can help it, with the exception of our Searchy account where we put all our videos. That's the only thing. And even Searchy might get replaced by a Zenler version. Rakesh mentioned something like that. No ETA, but that could happen. All right, so tutorials.newzenler.com. In here, what we've got is we've got our latest live events. So inside here, we have our office hours. These run alternately between 5 p.m. and 10 a.m. Alternatively each Wednesday. Okay, so we're on there. It's me, Rakesh is on there, and Kevin's on there as well. Kevin's hosting this. He hosts the office hours. So we run through an educational slot, and Rakesh comes on and tells us about the change log and any new features that might be coming in. So you get little bits of real good information in that. So next we have there's a live stream that runs into our YouTube channel, or ever-growing YouTube channel. We're nearly up to 2,000 members on our YouTube channel. So we run a live stream on that on Monday. Now I've been lacking on this lately just because of work overload. So this is going to come back on Monday. I'm going to be streaming into our YouTube channel. and we have our live workshops. Now, every Sunday, I tend to run a live workshop. And this Sunday, we've got an open Q&A. So it's on all of the lives that we've done. Now, if you want to look at our back catalogue of lives from Sundays, which cover everything from funnels, course creation, site setup, branding, all sorts of things, you can, and membership sites, you can just go into our masterclass bundle, our NZ Masterclass bundle, scroll down to the bottom once you've enrolled, and under live workshops here, you can find all our Sunday lives. They get updated the day after I've done the live. Of course, you can attend free as well. And that's a big thing. Everything we do for support is absolutely free. We don't charge a penny for it. So you get support from us all the time. And we do these things like, you know, all day sessions, and we just do impromptus, and we obviously often reply with videos to posts that you put in the Facebook group. We try to go above and beyond, and I think we are the best supported platform on the planet. Yeah, I'll say on the planet. Tell us if you find one better, because I guarantee you don't. So next down here, we've got brand new challenge. We've got the 5-day blogging challenge. And this is Kevin's amazing course. There's so many good reviews about this course. It's brilliant. He tells you and he teaches you how to do blogging. And it's really good because it's a pathway. You don't know it at first. You think, oh, I'm just creating blogs and individual blogs, and they don't make any sense. But actually, they all link up. You know, that's probably giving the giving the plot away there. But Kevin's coming on about 2:30 today. So he's going to have a talk and tell you a little bit more about his blogging challenge, which is brilliant. Down here on the page, we also have, and I don't talk about this very often, but we've got our feature list and our matrix. So you can basically see what you get. If you guys are using the free version, then you can see what you get for the pro version and what you get for the premium version. And it's worth mentioning that if you upgrade, or when you upgrade, it's just a matter of when, I think, when you upgrade to pro, you don't just get one site, you get 3. So every other platform you would pay 3 times, you know. So with the pro, with the premium, you get 10 sites. So if you've got loads of things going on, you know, it can save you an absolute fortune. And we also show you a feature stack up against the competition. So we've got Thinkific, Teachable, Kajabi. These are the top platforms that we look at. And you can see how Zenler matches them, and we outmatch them. And if you guys have been on here a while, you'll know how quick we release new features and how responsive we are to you as instructors on the platform. We listen to you and we take what you say very seriously, and we deliver on it. You'll notice we deliver on it. We put things into action really quickly. So saying that, we're going to jump into the NZ Masterclass bundle. I'm just going to have a little quick tour around there. So when you come into the NZ Masterclass bundle, what you'll see at the top is a search our complete database. That's exactly what it is. It's a database. It's actually powered by Searchy, but all our videos are on there. So all our YouTube videos, all of our course videos are on there. Any workshops are on there. It's a really quick way to get information really quickly, especially if you're more advanced and you just need to hook up to certain keywords. So if I was to put in here something like membership, I'm sure I get quite a lot for that, then you're going to get all the videos that feature anything to do with membership in here. So you can look through those and you can play them straight away. It gives you a time thing of that as well. You can see this course creation part 3, which is featuring membership. That's 1 hour 57 minutes. And other videos are like 31 seconds there, showing you on quizzes and how that can work with memberships. So this is a really good way, if you're already up on the system, to search for videos through our database. This was asked for, by the way, by you instructors. You were asking for a quick way to search for all the videos with captions already in place. So this is why we did it. Okay. So let's move down to our actual courses. So our courses work in series. They build on top of each other as you work through the sections. And we do expect you, if you're coming into the platform, to just spend a few hours learning the basics. And that's exactly what it is, a few hours. It doesn't take you long to get very familiar. And that's one of the key things that instructors like about the Zenler platform. It's very intuitive. You hear that word from instructors all the time. I've been taking video testimonials and pretty much all of them say intuitive because, and that's what it is. So we have our primary courses here, and we consider these to be essential viewing. So we give a typical user flow through the NZ Masterclass bundle, and we expect you to take what's called the Quick Start Guide. Now, this will take you 3 to 4 hours, so a morning or an afternoon, you know, or 2 evenings. And you can get through this. And what this will give you is it will give you a foundation to build your knowledge upon. Just using the Quick Start Guide, you will build your site, you will build your first course and have a full understanding of the system. Okay. So there's a lot to Zenler. So we can expand on all of this stuff from the Quick Start Guide. But when you do this, I say that you should also grab the basic setup checklist. Now, this is just a PDF and you can print it out and you can check things off. And inside there, you've got required things that we expect you to do. Okay, so you check those off. But what's good about this checklist is if you're working through something like the Quick Start Guide or the Complete Guide to Zenler, you can check these things off, leave it on your desk, and then go away from it, come back to it and know what you've done so you can move forwards. Now, we are building more into the checklist. I'll do an update on the Facebook group if it gets updated so you can download the latest PDF for it. But in all circumstances, it will be in this same place. So once you've done the Quick Start Guide, you've got the basic setup checklist PDF, and you've just worked your way through that, you'll be really well grounded to move on to other areas. So we have here what's called the Complete Guide to Zenler, and this is a huge course. It's an encyclopedia. Inside here, there is search facilities. We've had to put them in because the course is long. It's broken into sections, so it's very logically done in the way that if you want to know about maybe how to sell a digital product, we've put it in a little section, you know, with a physical product. If you want to know about memberships, it's in a section. So we've tried to group stuff in their own section. Also, each of the lessons inside there are kind of self-contained. Okay, they do build on each other, but they're self-contained. So it's been done in what I consider a logical way of doing it. You guys really love the Complete Guide to Zenler, so obviously we've got it right there. So have a look at that. We're going to have a look at that in a minute, but I wanted to quickly talk about secondary Zenler courses. So these are subtopics. These are topics that we thought would be of interest to you and you have actually asked for. So one I was talking about earlier, the live workshops that I run on Sundays, this is in here. They're all in here. So you can go through them. They're all in order of when they were released. And a lot of them build on each other. So next we have hardware and software course creation. So this is kind of an interesting one because it shows kind of the setup that I'm using here. I've got green screen behind me. Obviously I've got the Zenler, Day with Zenler background behind me down there, and shows like microphone that I use, the webcam I use, my basic setup, and it talks about course creation, like how to organize files and things like that. So it's really quite interesting to jump in there. It won't take you long. Ethically copy a site. This is a really interesting one. We were asked how to actually turn maybe something like a WordPress site or a Drupal site or something into a Zenler version. So I show you how to do it in there. And in fact, in a lot of cases, you actually do your conversion into Zenler site, and the Zenler site looks better. Zenler's got loads of great features like adding animation to buttons and things like that. And you simply just select the type of animation you want and bang, it's done. So it's really easy to use. You've got things like drop shadow on text. Obviously, you can change the text size, everything for you. So next we've got ninja tricks. Now, if you're not a coder or developer, I would stay away from this area, but it is handy for some people. There was someone asked in the first session how to change their logo size, and it's in there. So I've made it as simple as possible. I'm not going really into deep coding or anything. I'm doing everything very simply, but if you're not a coder, stay away from here. Next, we have branding and design. So if you're not a sort of designer, or you don't really deal, you think yourself not being creative, and by the way, everybody's creative in some shape or form. So take the branding and design course and it will get you on track with these things. Lastly, I've got a video testimonial. There's 7 slots left for this. So in here, you can submit a video to us about Zenler, what you love about Zenler. It can be 30 seconds to about 2 minutes long. And if you send that to us, there's 7 slots remaining. So I wanted to get 30 videos. Once I hit 30 videos, this is going to disappear from this page. Those 30 people that have submitted their video testimonial, they will get private access to a Zenler basic marketing course, okay, which is being put together. So as soon as I've got 30, this video testimonial will drop off, and those people that have sent me the video testimonials will get a special invite into the marketing course. All right. Now, I've held it at 30 because I don't want to have any more than 30 in there, because I'm going to be assessing people's progress, and we're going to see how many students we can get into the course or get into their site as a sign up. So we're going to be monitoring all these things and checking all the way through. So any more than 30 becomes unmanageable for a class, for me anyway. So with time management, because obviously I'm doing all my Zenler bits as well. So I've got to make sure I've got enough time to do all this stuff and my own private work. So get in there, sign up. There's 7 slots available. Now, we might rerun this after the marketing course is finished and people rave about it. We might rerun it, and you guys can then send your video testimonial then and get in there. So that's that. So I want to jump in now to the complete guide to Zenler, which is step 3 on the primary courses. And if you jump into this, again, you're going to find our search up here. And then you're going to find the course. Now, don't panic when you see the size of the course, because there's a lot, right? So this is a lot of content in here, and I'm still adding some. Some of the lessons have multiple videos in there as well, or bits of information or downloads, those sort of things. But what we have done in this course is made it really easy for you to find things. So if I was to put into here something like funnels, and hit enter or hit OK, then what you're going to find is, if you scroll down here, highlighted in red will be the word funnels. So you can straight away say, oh, okay, video and marketing, funnels, lead magnets, and more. So then you can start this and you can work your way through there. So we've put that search feature in there so you can quickly find things. These are the titles of each lessons, but we've also put down the bottom an expanded area that also has a search, and this will search on the text inside the lessons as well. So it gives you maximum searchability inside there. So that is the complete guide. That's the one that you'll be using and cherry picking the information that you need from it. So now we're going to move on to our YouTube channel. Now, our YouTube channel contains all our stuff for Zenler new feature releases. We just released recurring lives and interactive webinars. So you can set up recurrings for both of those. We had upcoming live classes and live features, so it's in there. We've got Facebook pixel integration that was added. These are just added. So many are added in here. And these are all new features that come out. So whenever a new feature come out, it goes on here first. Then the team will then put it on the Facebook group for you guys to see the new feature. Normally it will be actually installed into the system at that stage, and you can try it out. So next we have Ask Zenler, or Zenler how-tos, and these are questions asked by people there, or we think that it's worth doing a video for it. And these videos can be quite long. In this morning's session, I wanted to do a longer version of how to use recurring lives. So we've got the new feature in there and it shows you how to use it. But in here, I actually test it all out. So I actually run a live, and then we see what happens afterwards and how you can administrate it as well. So definitely check this out. It's only just gone up 2 hours ago. I said in the first session I was going to post it between the sessions. So there it is. Go and check that out for sure. Next, we've got Kevin's pro user interviews. And these are our Zenler Pro interviews. So we've got Steve Preston up. I think Kevin's going to be adding another one pretty soon as well. He's got a lot of people on the list. These are really good to have a look at and see what other instructors are doing with the site. Office hours in here. We've got Zenler FBHs. Now, these are short videos generally, and they're answering questions that are on the Facebook group that people haven't had the answer to. So then I'll do a quick video and it goes into the Facebook help, which is what FBH stands for. Next, we've got live workshops. So any live workshops go into here. So these are my Sunday lives going to here. And we also do our streams. Our streams go into here as well. So any live streams that we've got going on, they go into that area. And that's it. So you can see, definitely sign up for this. We've got 1.96K subscribers at the moment. So we're near that magic number of 2. And it would be really good if we could get up to 2. So subscribe to this, hit the bell, and you'll be informed of the latest stuff from us at Zenler. So I'm just going to have a look at the group. We've got Dana's here. Dana was here this morning for a little bit, but it was late at night, I think. So she's obviously had a sleep, got up, and she's back. Hi, Dana. We got Tracy. Hi, Tracy. It's good to see you again. Hello. Good morning from New York. Having trouble getting my dynamic header to use my chosen font. I had been copying the correct header code and pasting in a new page dynamic header. It used to work, but no longer. I've been chatting with support for about a week now. So simply when I insert a new dynamic header on the page, it's the wrong font. Any ideas to get the font to stick? So I'm guessing you check the cache and all that stuff. Tracy, I might need to talk to you afterwards. So support know about this, yeah?
Hey, David, can you hear me?
Yep. Hi. We've got Rakesh with us.
Yes, finally managed to get on. Cool. Yeah, so I think, hey Tracy, I think, I don't know what Tracy you're exactly trying to do. I think I'm not entirely sure you can actually paste a code of a dynamic header. You can do it for a static header. I'm not entirely sure you can do that for a dynamic header.
Yeah, that could be the problem. If you got to be very careful. We do talk about copying code blocks and saving code blocks, but with the exception of any of the dynamic stuff, because it is special. You know, it is special. It pulls in from different areas, and copying that code and pasting it somewhere else can cause lots of problems because it's being generated dynamically. So I'm not sure, Tracy, what's going on there. I might need to talk to you.
Yeah, I think all the dynamic stuff is dynamically populated from what is on the back end. So you can't really, play around too much. We kind of restrict it so that people don't break it. That's part of the reason.
Yeah. So yeah, as Rakesh said, we've got to be a little bit careful with this stuff, especially the dynamic things. So sorry, Tracy. So William, we've got William here. William, he's up. It's 8:15 p.m. He's in Singapore. Right. So in the last session, he was saying our headshot is top right. Yeah, I don't know how to move myself around. I'll be honest.
I think, hey, Will, I think we discussed it earlier. I don't think on the live stream you can change the positions. Maybe if you're showing something on the right side, maybe you can turn off the cameras for a second or something.
Yeah, I can try that, but while I'm sharing, should we try it? I'll try it. Let's try it.
Yeah, I think it takes a few seconds for it to come through to Facebook, I think.
Okay. So I've turned my head off now. I think it's just going to have my. So.
I'll turn mine off as well. So I think.
So we've got to remember to turn them back on again. That's the only problem.
That's right.
So yeah, I can see it's not. I'll just have to be aware of that when I'm shooting.
Yeah, I think it looks good now. So yeah, with no headshots on, it looks fine.
Oh, there we go. So if I'm screen sharing, that's what I'll do. So there you go. Found out something new there, guys. That's good. All right. So I'm going to. Rakesh is in, so I'm going to ask Rakesh. I'll just stop sharing, and Just turn my video back on. And I'm going to ask Rakesh about upcoming features. So there's lots of stuff gone on. Obviously, we've got recurring lives, which is a massive one, and
Yeah.
people have asked for it. But people have also asked for, what about paid for recurrings or for live events? So what's going on with that? I know you mentioned something about that before.
Yeah, I think pricing on live is a very, very frequently asked feature, and that is coming up. So we are working on it right now. But I think before that, we are going to add all the extra options for PayPal, including subscriptions, including paid trials, payment plans, or initial setup fee, and all that sort of thing. Everything, all the comprehensive options for PayPal. As you know, PayPal is only supported in most of the countries. Most of the countries like like Far East and stuff. So they don't. Uh, not every country supports Stripe. So for those countries, especially, PayPal is quite important. Yeah. So PayPal, all the different payment options for PayPal is coming up. So is pricing for live. So that is something which is coming up.
Right, brilliant. Yeah, I know PayPal's been asked for a lot for
Yeah.
things like the subscription, because guys, you probably noticed that when you go into subscription payment, your only option comes up for Stripe. So that's obviously going to change now, and you'll have the option to use PayPal as well, which is brilliant. So Rakesh, also there's I was talking about earlier in the first session about
Yeah.
a new version of the page builder coming out.
Yeah, that is also coming up. So we are currently revamping the entire page builder. So currently, when the page builder loads stuff, uh, it actually loads, especially on the visitor side, not just on the admin side. We are loading unnecessary stuff. So we are working on refining them. So one thing is we are going to just load what is essential for the page and not load whole lot of other stuff. So that's one thing, and also we are also working on themes and theme builder. So you will be essentially able to create an entire. Basically, you will be able to install themes just like on WordPress, and then you can edit them, edit the themes and so on on your backend, and then with one click you can just push your entire site when you're ready, or if it's just for course pages, you can just push those pages into live. Yeah, so basically we are working on whole lot of new themes. So we are building the infrastructure so that in future we should be able to add like regular themes and so on, not just stopping at 5 or 6. We're just going to pump out a whole lot of themes, professional looking, like great looking designs. That is the way. So yeah, whole lot of changes are going on in the page builder side. So yeah, so basically everything else kind of takes little bit takes a backseat because we are focusing on the page builder, and we want to make sure we can address all those little annoyances that this is slow and that is slow and so on, because everything is based on legacy. So we're going to park the legacy stuff there. We're going to rebuild it so that it is one, it is faster. Second one, you get amazing designs. You get themes for everything, including your courses and your site. And then one click from the theme library, you can install it and edit it. And then just like in staging, you can do your entire themes, keep it ready when you're live. Or even if you're hiring someone, you can keep your entire theme ready, uh, everything set and sorted, and then push one click, you can make them live. So yeah, so a lot of work is going on behind the scenes of the page builder.
Yeah, so that is fantastic. So there you go, guys. So there's three massive things coming your way. Also, I know we were talking about obviously these are big, so don't expect them all to come out in the same week or something. But I know you were talking also about communities as well, revamping that area.
Yes, communities is something we are quite keen to do it in a proper way, but unfortunately, page builder and the live pricing for Newsletter Live, all of that takes more priority. So yes, we will get to the community, but we want to make sure, because page builder is something which has been outstanding for like ages. We want to get it out of the way so that we can focus on other stuff. So yeah, we're pulling in a lot of resources into page builders, making sure that we can make that happen. And once we do that, we will look at community. So we want to make it look almost like like a Facebook group like you're on right now, where you can control everything and it's quite clean and everything. We have done the prototype and everything, but yeah, but We will get back to it when we get the page builder sorted and we get the pricing onto the new Zenler Live.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. Yeah, and the other thing is, like, you know, guys, like with Page Builder, it's such an integral part of Zenler. It's used in a lot of places. So this is not a small change, it's a massive change. As Rakesh was saying, having templates in there, you know, being able to push them straight out, or change a page, or, you know, and the templates are going to get updated and all these things, it's massive. So I know I showed you in the earlier session, for you guys that were there, that we were going to launch inside the NZ Masterclass bundle, we were going to launch blocks and templates. But it's not going to be there for long, because as soon as these templates, this new page builder system comes into Zenler, we won't need them. You know, we can get rid of them and you can just install them straight from there. So it's going to make life so much easier for you. And of course, you know, because they're professionally designed, you can just put them straight in, change a few colors, put your text in, and bang, you're done. So it'll be even quicker than the system is already. And with the new page builder, you're not going to get any lag times on when the editor opens and those sort of things, because it's not loading too much code in there. It's going to be very light. So all these things to look forward to. So guys, you must be really happy with all that, because
Yeah, and
that's
also we're building several things into the page builder, like several new elements into the page builder, which I can't reveal right now, but we are building on several fancy elements into the builder so that you can straight away use them, you know, with one click rather than using some custom CSS and so on.
yeah, no, it's brilliant. Also, people have asked, when is the next price hike? So is there any? I know we're heading towards launch.
Yeah, I think there is a price hike, but I don't have any dates around it. So we want to get some of the stuff that we want out of the way. Because once we get that in control, we will have a date. We will give enough notice. We usually give like a couple of weeks or more than that. So last time we did a bit of rush. So we want to make sure we give enough notice this time. Yes, you will get enough notice before we do that.
Yeah, and I think what we'll do before the price hike next time is we'll be running, maybe run a few all-day sessions, just to tell you, those people that are thinking about upgrading, they can ask us questions there. I'm pretty sure once they understand all the support we give and all the new features that come out, you'll upgrade straight away anyway, to not miss this amazing deal. All right, so brilliant, Rakesh. Anything else to add?
No, that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. We want to make sure we get all of this under control, like page builder. Um, Page builder is the one which we're going to address first, and then we'll adding features is easy, but we want to make sure we have the infrastructure ready so that we can add features. We can look at all these game changing features for you guys.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay. Great. Okay, so I'm going to move on now, and we've covered all our tutorials. So like I said before, we've done that reoccurring live. So I'm going to turn my video off.
I'll
Let's
do
turn my
mine as well.
video off, and I will screen share. All right, so what I want to talk about is testing as a student. So a lot of people have problems with this. So if there's no questions, I'm going to just be doing a few little tutorials just to help you with things like testing a student, because it's really easy and you need to do it. A lot of people rely too much on the admin just preview, and they don't actually go in and test it, and it's just essential that you do. So I'm just going to flick my site off. So let's just stop the screen share for a second whilst I load the site in there, and we can go in. All right, so easy way to set up a test student is to go into your site, and if you go down to people here, you're going to see I've got a test student already in there. Now you can go in and you can edit this. I'm just going to talk about, this is me as admin here, and this is the test student that I've set up. Okay, so we can go in and we can manipulate the student. So if I want to, I can go in and press the little edit button here. I can send a mail directly to that student on its own. I can also go in and add or change roles inside here. And I can add tags as well. So if I wanted to add a tag of non-pro, I could put that in there, or I can type my own. So I could put test in there and hit enter, and then I would get a new tag. Tags are good because you can separate people out when you're emailing to them. But also we can delete the user out. Now, a lot of people go and hit the recycle button and you get user cannot be deleted because user enrolled in some of the courses. And this happens a lot. If you're testing using the same student and you're testing through courses, you'll unenroll them and enroll them. So if you want to, what you can do is you can go into the edit and you can go into courses with a test student and you can click the unenroll. And because these courses here are part of this membership bundle, if I click unenroll, then I will disappear from here. Now, because I'm not enrolled in any of the courses, I can come back in here and I can now delete myself out as a user. So you can bring yourself in as a user as well. So I'm just going to delete myself out. And there we go. So I'm out of there now. I'm no longer in. So if I want to manually add a user in here and I don't want to go through the rigmarole of signing up to the course and all that stuff at front end, which is a good idea to do to test it, but I might just want to add my user in here. So if I click add user, what I can do is I can just put my email straight into here. And I can put myself as, let's just sort of David, and then just put test in here. And then I can manually just set a password. So just whatever you want to put in there, I'll just do something. And I can set myself a role as student there. And now I can, if you look down here, I can enroll myself into courses. I could also enroll myself straight into a funnel as well. So it might not be, you might have a user that you've got who's maybe you want to give them free access to something or check something out. So you can just manually just add them, or you can get them to go through the front end. But if it's a paid for course, this avoids that. So automatically I can take this, put them into the Surf Dude membership, choose the membership plan. If I have multiple price plans, I can choose whichever one I like. And then I just click add. And now I'm in there as a user. So I can test the site out as a user because I've just added myself in there. So that's a really quick way of doing it. The other way to do it is to, again, delete yourself out, go in the front end. If you've got a pricing plan set up, you can just set 100% coupon off and then they can go in that way and then you can test them. So it's really easy with Zenler to go in there to manually set tags up. You know, you already know that if people are coming through forms, you can tag them in and under different tags, and then you can use the filtering that we've got that's all over the Zenler platform. You can filter out by courses, enrollment date, tags, courses they're in, the plan they're in. You've got so many options within Zenler to test as a student, but this is a nice, easy way to do it. So now I know that I can use this same user to log in. So if I'm using this user as a login, I'll go and find the course. So I'm going to go and find the course bundle, and then I can go and grab the page because I might not have, this might not be on the front end. I might just be testing this out. And actually this is not on the front end. So what I can do is I can just get into the course. So I can go to here, copy this, and I can go into my incognito mode, which is what I use, type the URL in here, and it'll ask me to log in. Then I'm going to log in using my credentials that I just created. This is a test student, by the way. I can log in. Once I'm logged in, which I am now, I've got access to that course, that membership course, and I can test it all out. So I can test that the site works and that I can go in and see all the curriculum and all those things. So I'm testing this as a student. I'm working my way through. And this is what you should do. Don't just put the course together and just launch it. You need to go in and test it. Not only do you need to test it as a student by doing what we've done there, but you also need to unenroll yourself from it, delete yourself out as a user, and then you need to go in and buy the course to check that your payment's coming through. So if you're using Stripe, if you're using PayPal, you can just go into, you can do a payment. So if your course is like £1,000, and you might want to set a coupon up so that it's like £2 or £3, but you can buy it And then if you want to get the money back and not pay the PayPal or transaction fee for Stripe or PayPal, you can go into your Stripe or your PayPal account, you can refund it back, and then you won't be charged a fee and you'll get your money back, but you will have tested the system. 2 reasons to test the system. You want to make sure that the payment's going through, and you also want to test that all your automations that you set up for your courses are working. All right. So that is 2 reasons why you should definitely test it through the payment gateway to make sure. Remember, you're going to have a lot of students coming through this. So just testing at your end and making sure it works is a good idea. If you're setting up subscription, what I suggest you do is set it up like if you're going to take a subscription once a month, when you're testing it, set it up to do take a subscription like once a day, every day, and test that for 2 days, make sure it works, and then cancel your subscription. And then you know that it's going to take payments over a month, and you can just shorten that time to test it over 2 days. So these are just tips that you should definitely take on board. We always talk about testing the platform. It's really, really important, guys. Okay, so any questions about that? So I'm going to have a look at the group now. So I think Rakesh. Hello, Rakesh.
I think there's a question from Christine. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hang on 1 second. Yeah, there is a question from Christine. Hey, Christine, good to see you. I think she asked, will the page builder have a description area in the back end where we can change and update without going into the page builder again? I think what Christine is referring is the course summary block, right, David?
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. You can under when you set a page up, you do have the course summary. It's a dynamic block. So if you're changing that in the course, let me just share my screen again. I can leave my camera on for this because I'm not in the way of anything. So if you look under the course, the overview of the course, this is a bundle, but it doesn't matter. You've got the bundle name, the bundle subtitle, and that shows it in there. But under the courses, you go into a course and you get this course title and course subtitle. So that
I think what Christine is saying is, can we add the summary through a summary on this page? I think that's what she's trying to say.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think we can. I think only way the New Zenler course builder works a bit different than the other course platforms. On the other course platforms, I think you can add the summary, and that kind of is like a dynamic block that goes on to the page. Here, we want to give you all the freedom so that you can just change whatever you want on a basically just a block, or you can add different elements and so on and make it better. So we didn't really want to restrict the course summary block design wise.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing that you have in here is I'm guessing that you want to reuse that block. So just think about saving it out as a block. If you've got any content that you're going to be reusing throughout other courses through the site in general, just save them out as blocks. You'll notice if I come into the page editor now here, I have some of these blocks for the surfing site. I have them set up so that I can just drop them into other pages. And what I tend to do is I work with one course. So I know not everybody's working on 3 courses at the same time. But what you can do is you can work on one course, get the format and the look of it looking really good and as you would want it. And then you can copy those blocks, save those blocks out, or you can take the course, clone it, and just change the title, the background colors, and you can make it look good. So if you look at my site in here, just to give you an example, you've got this orange color, which is kind of our call to action, our main header kind of color. And then we have all this. So we have this in green, this in blue, this in red. And these were just duplicated, and then just the color and the text were changed. That wasn't even saved, but I could save that whole block out. And if I go into the editor here, you're going to see this top for the advanced level. It's taking the dynamic title. So I can change that inside of the options, and it's just going to automatically update there. but the rest of it you put in there. So I don't know, Rakesh, if we're going to do a summary block as a dynamic block. I don't think we need to really.
No, I don't think we don't have a plan right now to do that.
Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's kind of needed because you make it as per your course. But if you did want to save out just a summary that you've got, remember you can just come in here and you can click in here and you can just call it summary. So I could save that out, click save, and now that's going to appear in my blocks. So when I come down to my custom blocks, you can see I've already got my blocks saved out. This is purely so that I can throw them into areas really quickly. One, it's really convenient. Two, it saves me a ton of time because I can just throw them straight into another block. So I'm planning to do a fitness part on this course. So what I'll do is I'll grab one of these blocks, I'll drag it across, I'll change the color to maybe a gray, and then I'll put fitness start here. And there, I've got a new block. And like that block I just loaded, if that was a summary block, I could have that and I could drag that block into another page or into another course, and I've got it there. If you've cloned the course, you've already got it. So you can just change the text or just leave it in there as it is. So hopefully that's answered that question. So what else have we got going on? Right, so Tracy's having a play with it. Will the page builder have a description area in the back end? So that's the one we answered, Christine. Hopefully that's good. So 2 little comments wasted if no one comes on board to watch the live. Sorry, William. So David, I'm going to send you a Loom video in Messenger showing my header issue. Okay, so, okay, Tracy, we can have a look at that. Right, okay. Yeah, we're running this, I know William has just said there, but we're running this Day with Zenler. We're giving it a trial. So we're seeing how it's working out. There's quite a few things we might change with the formatting of it. I was hoping that more questions would come in, but I'm guessing it's because I needed to set it up as an event. But it's always good to try these things out. And I wanted to do more sort of impromptu. So I just appear rather. So if I see a lot of activity going on the Facebook group, I might just appear as a live and just answer questions quickly and then jump out. But we're doing this special live reoccurring, and we might run this every month. So we'll just make sure that we publicize it a little bit more in the group so people know.
Exactly. I think it's more like a way where you can almost like visiting Zenler office and talking to us. So you just drop in and swing by and ask us anything. So yeah, so we're not necessarily looking at the views or the number of comments here. Just here for you to get in touch with us so that you can talk on, you can ask anything during the slots.
Yeah, I mean, guys, it's to show that we're committing to you. We're here. If we answer one question and help one person out, that's good. That's what we care about. We care about you guys. So if you do have a question, and I mean, we don't get that many questions even now, like in office hours and things. And I'm hoping that's because of our tutorials, and we've got so many. You don't need help with them.
Yeah. Yeah, I think next time probably we can do like a form where we can ask some questions beforehand. Yeah, so probably this is just a first cut. Yeah, so we'll probably trade from here.
Yeah, and with these videos as well, I know because these lives, this is going to be 8 hours in total. So I've actually got this, and I'm going to put it into the search on Searchy anyway, so it will transcode it. So again, it will be helpful to you guys to pick up any keywords in the search. But I think we're not getting questions because we've got it all covered. The tutorial covered.
You can wrap up early.
We can finish early. So, but I'm always finding, the thing is, Zenler, so I'm always finding new things that you can do in the platform. And it's quite nice for you guys to see like complete builds and see how quick, all this stuff I'm doing live. I know a lot of people say, oh, the page builder takes a long time to load and all these things, but you're seeing me doing this live It's really quick. I can work with the system really quickly. It proves it to you. I'm doing this live. I do all my lives, and you see how quick I can work with the system. So usually it comes down to your internet speeds, you know. So Tracy said we rock. That's you, Rakesh, not me.
So it's the entire team,
So
not just me.
we got Matto. It's great that you guys are doing this. I wish I had more questions, but I haven't got started on setting up the launch my Zenler yet. Still learning lots and enjoying the support. Yeah, I mean, Matto, it is a case that we do give you a lot of support. It definitely take the quick start guide. There's always going to be, we tend to find there's more technical questions now than the obvious questions. From like 12 months ago, there was more kind of questions coming in, the same questions coming in all the time. And now there's less of that. It's more of a technical nature. So, I mean, that's good for us. So when you do have a question, Matto, we're here for you. William's got, when the attendees comment more Facebook notifications, more users. So he's given us pointers there. Good.
I think we'll definitely do a little bit more marketing next time, so that so more people know about it.
Yeah, but you know, you guys that are here, you know, it's special for you. You've got us all to yourself. So that's great. So all right, no more questions in there.
There is someone is about to ask a question. I think I have a question. Yeah, there's no question yet, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Angarad, if you want to put your
Yes.
question, you know, feel free to put your questions in. Just go ahead and put them in. Rakesh is keeping an eye on the chat anyway. So if you put that in, I'm going to get on to saving blocks. So, right, I want to just have a look at languages. So this is something that really confuses people with the platform. Lots of the dynamic blocks that we have actually generate text. So people say, oh, well, like, you know, I can't change that text. And it's because it's been generated, but you can change the text. There's a lot of ways in which you can go in and change this stuff. So if I go into, let me just jump into the Surf site again. And I'll show you where some of the dynamic text is and what you can do. So let me go to the course, and I'm going to go to the bundle because I'm going to give you an example of what you can do. Inside here, if I go into any of the courses, let's just go into this one here. And I'm going to flick up the course access page. So course access page here. So if I go into the start here, into the curriculum itself or the course player, you're going to notice down here, unlike normally it says next, I've actually got it as mark as completed. So you mark as completed and then you go on. So how did I change this text? Well, there's lots of places in Zenler where dynamically generated text is placed. And all of those places, or most of those places, you can change the text to this. So I'm going to show you where you can do that. It's really easy, guys. Just need to go into site, and then you need to go into language. And what we've done is we've set up a series of tabs here, and these relate to the dynamically generated text that is in these areas. So for instance, we have this is the course player. So if you look in the course player and I open up this tab, you can see that everything that's actually given in here, like back to the curriculum here, you've got this text in here. This is where it is being generated from. So if I come down to, and I've got to find it now, so give me a second. Markers completed. So what you're going to have is the default is next lesson, but I've changed this to markers completed. So if I put it back to next lesson, and then I hit save here, okay, and I come back in here and I refresh this screen, you're going to see that this will say next lesson. So there you go. So everywhere where there's an area that's generated dynamic text, like back to the curriculum, if you can find it inside of the language setting, you can change it. Now, this is key for people like that are from another country and want to change the languages over. So you'll find lots of people. I know one, for instance, Bergier, changed his all to Swedish. So he went in here and he changed them all over. Now, we do have some default languages in here that you can change. But a word of warning, if you change these over and then you change it to one of these, and then you go back to the original language, it will default back to what it is. So be careful. People have had problems with that. But we do have default languages in there, but not for every single language. At the moment, we've got English, Italian, French, Spanish, German, Chinese, Arabic, Japanese, Czech, Polish, and you can put a custom language in there, which I guess is what Berger did. So he checked that one and then changed it to Swedish. Okay.
Yeah, I think can I just add one more thing?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, I think there are some pieces of text that you cannot edit. Like for example, the new features like live, or some of the complicated pricing options like payment plans and stuff. Yeah, we are getting at those as well added here. But yeah, so most of the stuff you will be able to find here. But there are still just points just to note that there are still few things that have not made its way yet into the custom text, but it will make its way at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. There are a few areas. So if you do find those areas, sometimes what people have done to override that problem temporarily is they've removed that block and then they've manually set up a block, and then they've directed them to maybe say that something like the checkout page. So you can do it, you can work around it, but if it's not in here, then we haven't got that selection. But it makes sense what's going on here. This is the main thing to understand. If it's general, it's kind of general throughout the site. So you've got things in here, continue with Twitter, you've got course. So where you've got things like where, and this is a particularly interesting one, where you have my courses or you have all courses. If it's a membership site, you don't want all courses, you want it as a membership site. So you want to change all courses to your membership or membership, and then you can do that in there. So this is a big one that people kind of miss, and it's all in there. So you can like enroll in course, you can change these things over. Also, you have those settings in there for all the languages or the dynamically generated languages in each of those sections. But at the bottom, we've got something a little bit different. And inside this area, we have the system emails that go out. So you can actually, and we do advise that you go through all of these and you actually customize them for your brand. So by default, if you've got the system emails on, these are going to send out by default with the layout we've given is pretty standard, but you might want to just change it to your brand. So like, for instance, when someone signs up, they'll get a welcome email. So it's generated from here. So if I click that welcome email, you can see it all comes up like this. And it works in exactly the same way that it works in every other place that you send mails out. So if you're using email broadcast and you're using funnels with automations and automations in courses, the way that we've set it out with the personalization and the plain text is all the same. So you don't need to relearn the wheel. You can actually just go in and you already know it. So you can just change it. So if I didn't want hi, I could put dear in there. If you want to put your logo in, you could go in there and just click and put an image in there for your logo. Be careful with images. We've purposely kept this very plain text so that it gets high deliverability. And that is another note. So that's where you can change all the system emails. I do recommend that you go through these and make them your own. So it's your own brand. Okay, for email deliverability, and we're talking about email broadcasts and those sort of things, we do have a best practices for sending out emails. So there's a lot of question like this. I know some people have sent the emails through the spam rated things that don't always give you an accurate reading, but there are certain things that you need to do that we advise in the system. So if you go into our YouTube account, that's youtube.com/c/Zenler. And inside here, you put email then you're going to get our email deliverability. Where is it? I'm not going to find it, am I? Yeah, email deliverability, getting mail to your inbox. So this is, you need to look at this. This is really good, especially you guys that are trying to give a score to emails that are going out and comparing it to other emails, which you really shouldn't do. If it's getting through, we do show bounces and if things have been opened, so you know that they're getting through. I wouldn't trust all of these counts on things because they're based on different things. So definitely look at this. This is going to really help you if you want to make sure that you've got your emails being delivered. So it gives you, it's quite in depth on this, and it's best practices for this. So definitely look at this. I'll put I think, Rakesh, I'll put it into the chat so you can have a look. Well, that's one to look at. So that's email deliverability and best practices. So yeah, have you got any notes to say on that, Rakesh?
No, I think yeah, I think we have done covered the whole topic on this video, right? So yeah, I'm going to post the link to this.
Yeah, I've done it. I've put the link in there.
Oh, okay,
So
excellent, excellent,
that's all sorted.
cool.
Right. Brilliant. Okay. Yeah. So it's coming up to an hour now. So every hour I take a little break because just to save my voice. So I'll be running into what, 5 hours now. So I'm going to come back in about 10 minutes. I don't know. Are you staying around, Rakesh? Are you?
Yeah, I'll be around. So yeah, so just any questions, I'll fill the gap until we are back. Yeah, see you soon.
Fabulous. All right. I shall pause for now and I'll be back in about 10 minutes.
Sure.
Have you got any questions? Put them in there. We love questions. We haven't had that many today.
Yeah, I think there is a question from Angrad Davis. So I've asked her to do an use loom for us, or maybe share the screen. So let's see.
Oh, brilliant. Okay. All right, good. Yeah, if you want to send her the link to do the link to do the share, then that's good. William saying have a drink of honey. Okay. All right, I'll see you in 10 minutes. And remember, we've got Kevin joining us about 2:30, so he'll be up in about half an hour. He's going to talk about his blog challenge and the pro interviews and where you go to do those. So he'll be doing that. So I'm going to. William said music. Yeah, next time, William. See you in a minute.
Hey, William. Yeah, we need to add some background music. Yes, but I think we don't want to add any music and then get into copyright issues and then take the entire live stream down. Yeah, we'll hopefully by next time we will refine it and make it a bit more nice, nicer between the gaps. So, guys, yeah, once while we wait for David, I think let us know what is your biggest frustrations right now using the platform. What are your biggest when you're using News and daily on your admin side? What are you really struggling with? So that we can look at it. Let us know in comments. What is the biggest frustration when you're using the New Zenler platform, your admin side, while creating courses, while creating the content and so on, while running your day-to-day business activities? What what affects you? What is the thing you want us to change in the Zenler? Whether it's a UI, whether it is bugs or whatever. Let us know in comments. We can Let's discuss on that. Hey Vicky, so you're good to see you. Yeah, Vicky has makes a point that better overview of community threads. When a participant comments on a lesson, I and their peers can't always see in which context their comments stem from, as the lesson is not mentioned. Yeah, so Vicky, yeah, we are working on we haven't started working on it yet. Once we complete the page builder, the big revamp, then we will look at community. So we want to make it more closer to what Facebook community looks like, because that is what you guys are used to. um, yeah, so the definitely we are going to do something on that. Daisy, hey Daisy, good to see you. Hey Rakesh, I am completely in love with the newsletter. Excellent. The one thing I would really love to see improved is a community space. It doesn't have sufficient features to move my peeps. Absolutely, Daisy. There's a community as of now, is pretty basic, but if you see, but actually speaking, the way it works right now, it's actually so much better than all the other course platforms out there. We got all the infrastructure in place. So we got the infrastructure behind the community is really cool. It actually works exactly like Facebook's. It gives weightage to each and every comment and everything. Just a whole lot of algorithms and everything underneath the hood. It's just that we need to present the community in a slightly better way. We will be revamping it to make it move a bit more like Facebook. The Facebook group, so that you guys are used to. We want to make it look like and work like what you guys are used to, with things like topics and search and member directory and so on. So we want to make sure you don't have to go somewhere else, like Mighty Networks, for just for community. Doesn't make sense because we can do that in house. Yeah, so we will do that. We just want to do it one step at a time. Hopefully that answer your question, Daisy and Vicky. William says, I need to be able to remove fake signups using my affiliate URLs. It's getting too many. Um, Hey, William, do you have reCAPTCHA enabled on the page? Maybe that will help that a bit. Um, because how are you getting these signups through affiliate? Because we don't really have an affiliate functionality as such for public sign up. Are you getting them signed up as a student? I think David is back. Hey, David, welcome back.
Hiya, yeah. So, yeah, I had this problem myself. I didn't have reCAPTCHA turned on one of the contact forms. I think it was a support form, which was sending tons of emails and things out. So you need to make sure that you're turning reCAPTCHA on your forms. Now, I haven't got it turned on for my sign up form. But it's kind of like then they're just putting a existing username and password in, so I don't really need reCAPTCHA on that personally. But if you're got your support page, which I think it is, I'll just share it with you. You need to make sure that you have reCAPTCHA turned on. So I've got my support form there, which is this page. So if I go to preview it first, you're going to see I've got reCAPTCHA turned on in the corner there. So this will stop any of those kind of bots from actually sending stuff. So if you go into the edit of the page, you just need to make sure. I think we've got two options in there for reCAPTCHA, haven't we, Rakesh? It's a
Yeah,
visible
I
and
think so. Yeah, so we always recommend using visible reCAPTCHA because invisible. The problem with invisible is sometimes when Google throws up, Google shows up the invisible reCAPTCHA depending on various risk factors. So by the time they show up, I think there's browser issues, there's internet issues, and so on. So we want to make if you want to make it absolutely, we want to make sure it's absolutely works. Just use visible reCAPTCHA.
so you can. So I've got invisible turned on for that, but that would be our recommendation. So just to make sure it's on, it's off if you hit the off button, and if you turn the on button, it's on there. So for any forms where people are actually sending information to you, and make sure that you have that form on. Make sure you have the reCAPTCHA turn on, and you won't get those problems. It might be, Rakesh, I think this question came up about if you do a custom form in there. And we got the reCAPTCHA built into custom forms.
No, I think reCAPTCHA needs to be like an element to be able to do that. It only works on the existing forms. I don't think it works on the on the custom forms.
Yeah. Yeah. So might be an R sender on that one.
Yeah, I think William and I think Vicky is saying that William is saying that community do not have to be like Facebook actually, but need to be good enough to attract us from using it as a replacement for Facebook. Absolutely, I don't mean the look. I just want to make sure that we got all the functionality covered that you guys are used to in Facebook groups. So yeah, so basically we will get all of that covered. Yeah, I think Vicky says, have you considered looking at Slack and how it works with different topics? Yes, I mean we will have support for topic as well. It will be quite seamless once we do that. I think David has seen a sneak preview of how the community looks like, right, David?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's really good. I think it's going to blow your minds, guys.
Yeah, it should be really good. Cool. I think William asked something. He says, my reCAPTCHA is on, but still there are a handful of spammers who literally copy paste daily. And there is no way we can stop someone from sitting and doing manually. That happens on any site. So we can't really, uh, get them on a phone and or something like that, right? If it is a bot, we can stop it. If it's someone is doing it manually, unfortunately, there is no technical way to stop them.
Yeah, I wonder why that would be happening. I mean, I've run sites for years and years, and generally turning reCAPTCHA on, it's mainly bots that are sending out literally thousands of emails that actually can bring your system down. It's that bad. So, but I've never had someone manually putting stuff in. You can tell. You can tell if it's bots because they just go, they just pile up, pile up, pile up. They
Yeah.
normally do it for about 2 hours and then they stop for an hour, and then they'll carry
Yeah.
on and they'll fill up and they'll take your server down, or they
Yeah,
take
that's
your
true.
then
Yeah, I think there is another way to do it. Maybe you can just make your support page just available for logged in users, so that these bots or even these manual users cannot see the page.
Yeah, yeah, that would work. Yeah, that's a solution for you. Maybe I'll have a little bit more of an investigation in that. There might be something we can just install into the pages that helps with this kind of thing. So that's definitely one to look at for sure. Yeah, so Williams put, yeah, referral sign-ups are simply fake signees and it's getting too much. Yeah, it's strange. William, I might have to have a look at that and see what's going on. So yeah, that's a recapture for you. So Kevin is going to be joining us soon, I think. I forgot to send him a link to Zoom, so I think he'll be jumping on at some point. So what I thought I'd do, like for next day with Zenler, because we don't have, I mean, next time we might have tons of questions because we're going to do some forms, so you can actually write your questions in advance. But I might actually, for a day with Zenler next time, I might actually build a site and a course from scratch. So I'll show you how quick I can do it in the system. It's really quick. I've built a site and a course from scratch. Obviously, you've got the course material already done because that takes the time. And I've done it in less than I think it was about 2 hours, 40 minutes. So I might run that through next time on the next day with Zenler.
Yeah, I think that would be really cool, like live build of a site.
Yeah. Yeah. There's things like CTAs and stuff like that we can build in Page Builder. It's all good. It's all good for you to see how quick it can be done because it's so quick. A lot of people have said coming across from WordPress sites and things like that. I think Zen is so much quicker, to be honest. You don't have to put in all these Page Builder elements that you've got in WordPress. They're already built into the Zenler system, so it makes it really easy to work with, for sure. So what else have I got to talk about? So saving blocks or code. So I thought I'd do a quick one. I've already sort of talked about saving a block out and you can just drag it across. But for you guys, there are people out there that are using the free plan. And although you don't have access to actually doing the saving the blocks out because you can't, because you're not allowed to if you are not on the pro or premium plan, that feature is not available. Several other features are not available, such as the lives. You have a certain amount of funnels you can create, a certain amount of emails. All the things are limited. You can't use assignments, those sort of things. But you can we still give you the ability to use it as a site and for you to be able to actually go in and copy the blocks and move them across. So I'm going to quickly just show you now. This is for you guys that are free. I know a lot of you aren't. I've seen you on the group and you're all pro or premium users, but this is just to help the free users out. So I've got in here, this is a CTA template that I set up. So just a call to action template. You notice the page is unpublished. If I go into edit, and what I'm about to show you now is exactly the same way that you will actually be installing the templates or the block CTA that's going to appear inside the NZ Masterclass bundle, probably Wednesday next week, once I've tested it. So this is going to load up and you're going to see that I've done a simple call to action in here. And generally, if you are, I've got 2 in here, I think. Yeah, so if I wanted to use this in another page, if you've got the Pro Premium, of course, you can save the block out and then your blocks appear down here. And we talked about this earlier, so you can see all my blocks. So it makes it nice and easy for us Pro and Premium users. But what about free users? So what you can do is you can come over here and you can click the little code. So what you can do then is press Control, hold the Control, press A on the keyboard, and you can press Control and then C to copy that block text. So once you've copied that block text and it's saved, you can just cancel this. You can then jump into another page, and I'll do it in the same page just to save opening up. And what you do is you can basically create a new empty block and paste the code in. So if I click this little plus button here, I can drop in an empty block. And that empty block will appear down here. And you'll notice that each block has this little tab that comes out of the side. Yeah, so this block's got its own little tab. This block's got its own little tab. Okay. There's also a little move block as well, so you can move stuff around. But under this block, what I'll do is pretend I'm in another page. I can just open this up here. I can select the code that's in there, hold the control key, press A to select all, backspace to delete it out, control and then V to paste that code in, click save, and voila, there you go. So that's how you can copy blocks across if you haven't got access. And sometimes I don't even save blocks. If it's just a block that I'm using somewhere, I might just copy that code and just throw it in myself rather than save a block out. Now, while I'm on the subject of blocks, you can delete blocks out because it can quite quickly get a little bit crazy. So here, for instance, this was one that I did to show responsiveness for someone that was having a problem with the responsiveness of the page, because they'd set it up wrong. Basically, they created an image with text in it, and because they created the image and the text in it, when they resized it on the mobile, the text become really small because obviously images drop down in size. So rather than wrap, because it's not live text. So I just showed how to split an image out. So I did a little block there, but you can easily delete that block out by hitting the little bin icon there and just hitting delete. And then it deletes it out of the block. So you can keep your blocks nice and clean. You can just temporarily use them. It's like that new block I put in there. I can delete that out, and you just keep it all nicely organized in there. Also notice in my blocks, my custom blocks, I've also got one for a sort of menu system. So this is really handy. If you set a menu system up, especially if it's in a course, if you're creating a kind of membership site and you can use the same membership system, you saw the surfing membership where I had these buttons along here. So all I did was I set them up in advance and saved them as a block. Then I went into each of the course pages and I just dropped the blocks back in. And they all work because I tested it before, and then I just copied that block across and did it that way. And what I find is it's a really good idea to work on these sort of blocks and make sure that they're unpublished. Like this one I left that I did for the first session was on responsive design, and I've actually published that, but I would always make sure that I unpublish it after I've just demoed it because I don't want it showing on my site. But I like to work with just blank pages, so I'm not put off by anything else, and I can work on things like navigation. I don't have to publish it, so it can just stay there, so I don't have to do it all in one sitting, and I can just work it up. And in fact, you could do the same for everything, for every page. So if you guys are in a stage where you haven't got your site together, then it's a good idea to, first of all, set your site up, do your navigation, all these things. And then while you're working, set up the home pages. So I'll show you what I've done here, and then it will make sense to you. So I'm going to jump into, let me just leave that page, jump into this. You'll notice on this page that I've got welcome to Surf Dudes, register below. So I've got here, so I've got no links really. I mean, I've got a header in here that goes to these, but that's because I'm logged in. There's really nothing in here. If I go into incognito, let me just show you. There we go. So you can register. I still want people to register because I want to get them as leads, so I want them into the site. And you've got sign in there so they can sign in, but there's nothing there. Both the home page for logged in and logged out users is this page. So all I put on this page was register for launch, which is just a pre-launch registration. And I'm taking their name and I'm taking their email, and then they're coming into the system as leads. Okay. And I can leave this page set up. In the background, I can work on the entire site. So this is a good way to do it. So to make sure your home page is the same whilst you're working on your site, you just need to come into the home page here, and you need to just select that page that you've set up. So I could make it even simpler for this page. If I go into where my page is, this is the pre-launch, there it is. I could actually get rid of the header and the footer. I don't even need them in there because I'm just leaving that page up so people can come in and register. And then that means in the background, I can work on all of my site. So you don't need to think, now I've got my site, I need to do all of the pages in one day. You know, I've got, oh, it's all live, so I need to get it all going. You don't need to. You can set up a pre-register page and just leave it. So it's like, if I wanted to, I could take this top block, the main navigation block, I could delete it out. I could even come down to the footer and delete that out. So I've got nothing in there. So now if I save this and we go back to the page in incognito, save there, there we go. We just put it in. So I'm going to go to incognito, surf dudes, and now that's all I've got. I don't even need a video in there. And that would then be a page. So that would mean that now I can leisurely, at my own pace, work on the proper page for the home page. So I think I've got here, so I could go into the membership page and I could work with this page, you know, make sure these links work. And I don't even need to publish it if I don't want to. So I could come in, I could unpublish all these pages. And then when I'm ready to go, I could then turn them all on and I would have my new page set up. So I go into home page and I would then select the page that I want to use for the home page. And then I could also, and this is a plus, you can set up a different page for logged in users. So this is really handy because you could have exactly the same as the home page, but for logged in users, you could put welcome back. So when they log in and they actually sign into the site, the home page would then say welcome back to them. So instead of welcome to Surf Dudes, it said welcome back to Surf Dudes, and you could put what you like. You could even change the content. So this is a really good way of, you know, not stressing yourself out. So you've got a home page set up that's still capturing people's details. So someone asks you, you're out and about, and someone says, I know you're doing a surf site. Can I sign up for it? You can go, yeah, just go to my homepage, surfdudes.com, register there, and I'll let you know when I launch. You know, and you know that in the background, you can do all this work and then you can launch it when you want to. So by using the preview, you can launch it. And if you've got them, if you've actually got the pages published, you can view them. So you could actually go in here, and as long as it's not for logged in users, you could go into, say, here and go straight to incognito. And if the page is published, you can view it like that. So I can see this is my original homepage. So it's this is the one that I will swap out for that register one. So I'm working on this in the background, but for now I've got that homepage set up like that. So that's a really good tip for you guys to understand for these sort of things. Yeah, so Daisy Deb's saying it's a good feature. Just cleaned my custom block. So she's talking about the custom blocks that we did. So yeah. So most of my header and footers are cloned this way. So yeah, so William's put that as well. Remember, William, if you're using, no, I know for your site, we did custom headers and custom footers, so you could save it. Remember, if we were using dynamic, which is what it's like on Surf Dudes, you don't need to clone it. You can just drag the dynamic block across, okay? So like this page, for instance, if I want to get my dynamic block across, I can just go to blocks and I can go to my header, which is there. I can choose the dynamic one, and all dynamic blocks have got dynamic written on them. And I can click it and drag it across there and bang, it's in there, you know, so I've put it back. So with custom blocks, yep, it's worth saving them out. But for dynamic blocks, you can just drag it straight from here. So for the footer one, for instance, we have the footer dynamic one, which is there. And notice we have different styles. These are not dynamic, so it means you can play around with them. If you do use a non-dynamic one, you'll need to make sure you place that in each page if you want it to go across the site. But if I put it into here, then I've got my footer back. So just a quick drag across and you've got your whole site back. So if I save that now, went back into incognito. There we go. So we've got a footer back and our header back, footer and header. Yeah. So that's a little tip for you just to keep things under control. So let's have a look, see if there's any questions. Right, so yeah, I'm going to come. So I've got, I do seminars, and so I am trying to create a registration form. I'm trying to make use of login feature, meaning sign up users does not re-enter their name, address, payment info again. So if they're logging in, they're going to have to put in their username and password. So there's no option around that. Direct them to my courses page. So I'll ask for your guidance if there's a better way to do this. How do you add custom fields? So by default, you can add certain fields in the registration. So if I just go to the registration page here, let's just have a look at it first. Then you can see. I'm just going to close a few of these windows so it's all nice and clear for you. There we go. So let's have a look at the standard registration form. So I've not changed this. Oh, I think I've got rid of the registration block out of this one. I've got the login form. I might have to put that back in. Okay. Because what you're seeing here is a pop-up to a custom form. Okay. So I need to put the registration form back into page. If I can find it. And then you do have some options in there. So you can set up address, but you got to, there are certain things you can't do. With a custom form, you can put in whatever you like. And in fact, I'll show you that. That was something I was going to show you. So I have the sign up form. Oh, okay. So it is there. So yeah, this is the standard sign up. So they put their first name, last name, then they put their email and password and confirm their password to sign up. But under these options, if we click, this is the form. Purple is the form holder. Okay. So whenever you put anything in here, you need to make sure it's inside this purple area for custom forms. But this is a dynamic block, so we're limited on what we can do. But if we go in settings here and we go across to settings, you're going to see that it is a form, a sign up form, and we don't have the options in here to change a lot because it's just for signing up. So if you wanted to add fields here, I don't think we can at this point. It is what it is, you know, it's just someone signing up on the site. So I don't think, I think Rakesh is gone now, so I can't get a second opinion on that. But you can create your own form. So if I was creating my own form, then when they sign up, they'd actually be tagged as that all the fields that you put in would actually be part of their profile. So you would see those forms. So if I just do a quick demo to you, just to sort of show you, if I go and create an empty block, let me see if I can go straight down and grab a form. I've got signups down here. So I have a few sign up options here. You can see this is that one that you can see already. But I want to just create my own. I always like to create my own stuff, I'll be honest, rather than use the blocks, but that's just me. So let me drag this across here and I'll create a form in here quickly just to show you. So I'm going to create a single row for starters. And then inside here, I'm going to grab an element, and the element I'm going to grab, it's going to be a form. So I'm going to click this and grab a form. So now we've created a form in here. If you click on any of these form fields, you can actually go ahead and change these. So you can say the placeholder text you can change. For this one, we've got enter your name here. You can make it required here. This is a custom form, by the way. We can also choose where it goes. So these are the options that we have that get filled out. Now, as you can see, this says first name in here. So if I wanted to, what I could do is if I wanted to capture last name as well, I could just clone this field across, go into here and go into settings and put last name. So something like that. Yeah. And it says last name. And then in the input type, I would come down there and I would choose last name. So as you can see, you can start to add more. So this one, for instance, is email. So if I click the gear icon for email, go into settings, you're going to see the input type is email. Now it's important that if you set email, you need to set the input type the same, just so that it knows that it's the same thing. So we have other fields that you can drop in here. You can drop in first name, last name, address, city, zip code, phone number, or custom type as well. So let me just do a couple more of these, just so you get the idea. So let me go and clone that email field and come over here, and I'm going to change this to, let's change it to address. So I'll select address in there, enter your address. Okay. And again, like I said, you can make these required. So you can't move on till they're sent. Now I'm going to do the custom one because that's of interest as well. So again, I clone this out and I'm going to come into this one this time, and I'm going to come into here and we're going to do a custom one. So I'm going to call this some field that we haven't got, like country, I think. So if I go to custom type, it's going to ask me for a custom type name. So inside here, I'm going to put country. Okay. And then I'm going to say enter your country. So I've created a custom field in here. Oops. Again, you can make that required. So there, I've set up a separate field. So basically what happens now with this form is it will actually log these details. So you could add quite a lot of different custom forms in there. So you see we added country in there, so you could add it. Last thing we need to check is this submit form. So also notice that it's all inside the purple form block. You do not want to be taking this and creating a field up here. You want to make sure they're all inside. And that's why I tend to come in here and I clone them out, or I'll add them in that way. Okay. So the last thing I need to look at here is the gear icon for the submit button, because there's things we can do with that as well. Like in here, you can obviously change submit to something else. We have the action. You need to make sure the action is submit form to capture the details. You can also add them to an email list. So if you've got an email list set up, you can choose your email list here and add them to that. At the same time, you could add them to a funnel. Okay. So if you've got a funnel set up, you can add them to the funnel. And then if you've got automation set up in the funnel, the automations will then fire out to them. So you can also set up tags. So if it's a, let's just say it's like a pro user or something, I could set a tag up there. If I want to create a brand new tag, I can just come in here and just type the name of the tag. It doesn't have to be capitals, and you can click enter like that, and then you would get a new tag. So now when that user comes in, they'll be tagged with pro and they'll be tagged with test. Why do we tag? So it's easier for us to filter our contact list of users. So if you've got people coming in from one place, you might want to know where they came in from, so you can target them. So you tag them with something else, or you would add them to an email list, or both. You might have an email list that's called leads, and inside there you might have 1,000 leads, and half of them are tagged with pro maybe, and half of them are tagged with non-pro. And so you can go to that email list, select it, and then you can target the tags in that email list. So you can see how segmentation can work. You could, if you wanted to, set up 2 email lists, one for pro and one for non, and just add them to that. So it's really up to you how you work. So once you've set up your tag, or if you're adding to a funnel or an email list, you then have a post submit action. So with the post submit action, it's they've just filled this out and they click the button. So it's post, it's after they've submitted the button, and you can choose what you want to do. So when they hit that button, by default, it will show success emails, form sent, right? At the bottom, it'll come up in a little green box. But a lot of people, and me included, would set up a thank you page. So if you want to set up a thank you page, you can go to link. You can then go and find your thank you page inside your site that you will have set up. So in this instant, I've got a thank you page there. So if we look at it there, that's my thank you page. You're registered, or you could change it for something else. We'll contact you when we're finished or something. So to take this lead, all I need to do is copy this URL in here from the pages, go into the form, and I just paste it in there. So it sounds complicated, but it's actually really easy if you just work through those steps. So once I do that, as always mentioned, you need to test this stuff out. So that's done as a form. So let's see what happens when I fill this out as a test user. So I'm going to come in there and I'm just going to save that out. And we're going to see the result we get. So I'm going to go into the site and I'm just going to delete myself out as a user. So I set myself out earlier as a user. So I'm just going to come into here and just delete myself out. And there we go. Yep. Okay, let's go and test this out. So I'm going to grab that page. I'm just going to preview the page so I can grab the link. There it is there. So let's fill this out. So if I go, okay, last name. Don't need to put that in there, do I? Let's just put test. Okay, so there we go. So I've put my country in there as well. I think that's all right. And I've got my address. I've put my thing in there. So I'm going to hit submit now. So when I hit submit, it's got reCAPTCHA. Cannot go to reCAPTCHA. This sometimes happens. Yeah, I might have to refresh the page. I'm going to turn reCAPTCHA off. It's because there's two forms on there. So let me just turn this off. Click update. Okay, guys, I'm going to redo this. Just refreshing the page. Let's leave it like this. Okay, so I've got that email address in there. Oh, what's going on? And this is why you should do it with incognito. So let's go and do this in incognito. I thought I'd get away with it, but no joy.
Yeah, it's always better to check in incognito.
Yeah, I thought I might get away with it.
Yeah, sometimes not.
It's never going to happen, is it?
Yeah.
So for some reason, I might have to delete that form out. Yeah, guys, this is normally like a 2-second job, but these things happen. Okay, so I've got it all turned off, so it should be showing think I've got too many pages open here. Okay, let's close this all down so it's all fresh. Okay. Well, that's weird. So
So are we trying to turn off the switch the reCAPTCHA to visible?
yeah, I've turned it off on the page.
Okay, it still comes up, is it?
Yeah,
That's weird.
it does. I'm in incognito, but actually it's not letting me. So maybe the page isn't.
Unless there's a pop-up or something with the with the reCAPTCHA, I don't know.
Yeah, pop-up's not turned on.
Okay. Hmm. No, pop-up is not having that. That's not a problem.
Yeah, I mean it's typical. I might have to come back and show you this. Maybe I should have put this in a blank page. Probably been better. Let me just save the block out and take it into a page. This is the problem. Having multiple forms in a page, especially the register page, can cause problems. So I need to test this in a blank page. So let's go to pages. Okay, I'm going to publish the page for all users. I'm going to add this as a page now. There's my form. This what's great about it. When you save your blocks out, you could use this form in other places. So I'm just going to check that it's off in here and save this. And I should be able to preview this now. So all right. All right. There we go. Okay. Fill that up. Now you can see there's no reCAPTCHA down there. So I'm going to click the submit button. And what's going on, Rakesh? Not working.
Yeah, I think we might need to check that case. So we go to settings, and where is the reCAPTCHA setting? Enable, that's off. That's weird.
Yeah, it should be working.
So
I never have problems.
But it's not coming up right now, right? It's working as it is, right? Working as expected, right? There's no capture now, reCAPTCHA now.
No, there's no reCAPTCHA on here, so I should be able to submit this form.
Yeah,
I haven't got any required fields either, so yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. That's strange. All right, so I need to check that out. Don't normally have problems. I've done a whole 2-hour session on forms and funnels and didn't have a problem setting these up at all. So I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, unless there's some conflict with something else. Yeah, we would probably need to check it out.
Yeah, it might be because I had it in a form page. Maybe it's grabbed something across. I can see down there that the URL is going to hash. Um, so something's going wrong. So by default,
Yeah.
so what should happen, guys, is when you submit the form, it will actually keep these details. So these details will be entered into where the people are. So if you go to your people all here, it will show extra fields. So you'll be able to look at more of the fields and you'll see them in here, and you can export those all out as well. So if you haven't checked it out already, go to tutorials site and make sure that you go into the lives, and inside there is two workshops. One's on forms and one's on funnels. Okay. Watch that because I go into a lot more detail. I show like tagging, I show how to create inline forms. I'm working with these. I did both of these lives, so they were like 4 hours in total, and I was creating forms and funnels, and no problems, it all went through. So sometimes, if be really careful with this stuff. It's what I was saying to you. It's sometimes better to create stuff on a blank page like this, test it all works, and then take it into a block. But if you've already got a form in that page, and I think this is what has mucked it all up, was because I did it into the registration page and it might have caused some conflict. I'm in and out of these pages all the time. This very rarely happens. When it does, it's normally because I've done something stupid by putting two forms into a page and then I've left recapture on, which can screw things up. And it's not generally how most people use the platform. You'll be working with it and working through things, but at least it gives you an idea of what's going on. If we can find out what the problem is, we'll share it in there, but I don't think it'll happen again. I'm pretty sure that if I recreated this form, it would work perfectly. It's just one of those things. Because we're live, things do happen. All right.
Yeah, all the tech gremlins are out.
Yeah, we got the gremlins in. We had the gremlins this morning with Chrome,
Yeah.
stopping my live feed coming in. And now we've got the live feed coming in, but we've got the form gremlins popped up. So, but that's how you do it. But definitely go and check out if you're really into setting up custom forms and um, these sort of things. You need to check out that forms and funnels in the live workshops, part of the NZ Masterclass bundle, and then you'll be fine. So, have we got any more questions coming,
Yeah,
Rakesh?
I think Vanessa asks, she has a little question. When she extends the validity for a bundle directly from a student's profile, is the validity automatically extended for all the courses in the bundle, or do I need to manually extend for each of them? She asks. Yeah, so currently there's an option where you can extend the validity, but that is at the user level, at the student level. uh, if you extend the validity for a student, it only affects that particular student. It does not affect anyone else. So yeah, so hopefully that answers the question.
Yeah.
Just going.
Um, I think I did a video on
Yes,
validities.
yes, I'll try and look at that as well.
Yeah, if we've got the URL for that, that'd be handy. Yeah, so it's for an individual, so you can set it. We did have a question from instructors saying I'd like to extend it because give these particular people an extended view to it. So we built that into it, into the system.
Yeah, I've just chatted the link on the comments as well.
Oh, fabulous. That's good. Okay.
I think
Uh,
there's a question from Sophie Madness. I think she tried to locate the live, but I think she could not. So I just literally copy pasted into the into the chat. So she asked, when I need to work on a segment for my students, I filter them using a tag. After having treated the first one in the segment, I seem to not go back to I seem not to be able to go back to my segment for the next student. Instead, I have to reactivate the filter to recreate the segment each time. Is there a way to keep the segment active until the treatment of all students are finished? When there is no automation possible and I have to manually treat every student, it quickly becomes tedious. And I can't imagine the day I have hundreds of them to treat each month. I think she's referring to the ability to save filters as templates, right? The filter groups.
Yeah, I mean, it depends what you want to do with it. I mean, I find like if I activate the filters, I'm doing something with the students. I'm either putting them into a funnel or I'm enrolling them in a course. So generally what I do is I filter the people I need to filter to do the action, whatever it may be. Then I'll export them out, bring them back in and add them into a course or those things. But I understand, like, going forwards, if you go forwards to edit that student, you come back, then you've got to reset the filter. I don't think at the moment we've got that ability to be able to keep that open, have we, Rakesh?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So it depends on your purpose, really. All these things, you're telling us these things and we're making notes of them. So as we move through the platform, we make these little tweaks. They're not major releases like the things that Rakesh talked about before, about communities, page builder, all this stuff. These are little tweaks. There's tons of little tweaks that go on all the time, and we do those because you're feeding back. So if these kind of things you'd like them to be added, just make sure we know about it. Is it all right to send those sort of things to support, or should we just put it onto the new feature list, Rakesh?
I think yeah, keep it on the, if you can post it on the feature request, and also let support know, so that it doesn't fall through the gaps.
Yeah, then we get lots of those, and so they're tiny. In fact, we don't even talk about them sometimes because they just go in. So there's minor fixes and tweaks going on.
Yeah, we have a huge list, and we have to prioritize it based on what most users want. Yeah, so you might think why we are not acting on something, just because we got something which is a bit more important than that you're currently talking about. Yeah, so we are always looking at the best ways we can address something which concern most number of people.
Yeah, and they go in all the time, don't they, Rakesh? So it's
Yeah.
like all those little features, they'll just pop in there. When Rakesh talks about these main big features, it's because they are big things. We're working on big things, but other smaller tweaks and those sort of things happen all the time. And we base that off of what you guys say, or if we find any little bugs ourselves, then it's fed back. So that's, part of being beta. That's part of being the platform. You guys are helping us, create this platform for yourselves. So you pick up things like this, let us know, and the platform move forward. So it's a good thing to keep these things up. Right, so I'm going to have a look. When you create your own sign up form and want that, do you use the custom one then? Yeah. So we got a VAT question, Rakesh.
Who's that?
We've got Vicky. When you create your own sign up form and you want VAT.
Yeah, I think if you're creating a custom form, it's up to you to define the custom fields. Yeah, so basically you would create a custom field and call it, like, define it as VAT, because it's nothing to do with if it's a EU, European Union VAT. If you go to tax settings, there is a way where you can enable the VAT ID setting, and that takes care of everything automatically. That even does the EU VAT validation as well. But if you are doing handling the VAT number using custom form, then I guess it's up to you. You need to use the custom fields to collect it.
Yeah, and you can do exactly what I showed earlier with that, Vicky. So management, will I be able to use lessons created in New Zenler to use on YouTube, etc.? Do you understand that one? I don't.
I really don't understand, but I think, yeah, but lessons created on New Zenler, it's not directly portable onto YouTube. YouTube is just a place where you can host your videos. Yeah, so you can download your videos from Zenler and you can upload it on YouTube. That's about it.
Oh, right.
They're entirely different platforms.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, like I showed, you can easily embed video from YouTube onto it. If you're asking about if you create videos on NZ on New Zenler and you actually upload them, if you're asking if you can upload them to YouTube, yes, you can. In fact, that's a good way to promote yourselves. I do that often. So I'll have a promotional video or 10 for my courses, and I'll put one on my sales page on the New Zenler site, and then I'll also put those same videos on my YouTube channel. So then you get people, and then you have a link going through to the sales page, and basically they just come through that way. So you can use any videos that you're uploading to Zenler. You can upload them anywhere else. You can upload them to whatever video hosting platform you want. So yeah, I think that covers that. So, but to actually use lessons, interactive lessons, you can't do that on YouTube anyway.
Yep.
Vanessa's got, hi, a little question. When I extend, oh, we've done that one. So
Yeah, I think we've done
is,
that. I think Venkat Pedireddy has got a question on PayPal. I think Venkat is asking, is there any update on PayPal enhancements coming soon? I think we covered it a bit before earlier. Yeah, all the comprehensive PayPal options, including subscription plan, payment plan, installment plans, paid trials, free trials, initial setup fee, and all of that is going to come up soon. We are working on it, so it's almost dev complete. We are going through the QA life cycle. So once that's signed off, we will be making them live. Yeah, so it's close. I don't have an ETA, but Venkat, PayPal, all the various comprehensive options for PayPal is coming up.
yeah, that's been a big question. People have been asking for that for a while now. So it's going to be another big release.
Yep.
So we are bringing out big releases all the time at the moment. So it's
Yes,
good.
all the time. And
Yeah.
I think Aminata Laila, I hope I'm pronouncing it right. I was looking into Guru Khan and they completely abandoned the project. I love how Zenler is constantly making updates. Yeah, exactly. So we are constantly focusing on refining the platform. We are here for the long term, so we are not here to just take the money and get out of here. So we are constantly looking to address all your pain points. That's exactly what we're building. We're building the platform around your pain points, around your frustrations. Yeah, and she also has a question that when will the price increase or the main launch? I think we already covered that, right, David?
Yeah, I mean, again, as Rakesh mentioned earlier, it's like I think we've got quite a few new people just jumping in, which is really good. So they haven't seen the previous bits, but we give you tons of warning. Now, the last price hike we were on their live sessions talking to people. But I think for this next launch, we're actually going to up it quite a few levels. So we're going to be on hand just to put you at ease before you upgrade to Pro or Premium. And
Yep.
the price that you're getting now for this platform is just incredible. As soon as it wasn't even before the price hike came in, and I was like, I'm getting this because it's just there's so many features. And remember that all the major new features that are coming out, you won't be able to use as a free user. And the free user side of things could be limited more. So we're not sure yet. Rakesh you haven't decided yet what features are going to be limited on the free plan. I know people are getting worried for that, but we're looking at people to take this seriously and be pro users. And remember that if you are upgrading, it's evergreen, so it never goes up. And
Yeah.
every year, everything goes up in price, including the main platform when it goes up. It will not change. So you need to jump in this. If you're serious about this, you need to jump in on it.
Yeah, I think all the latest features and all the brand new updates will only go to the first. It's going to go to all the founding members. Then only it's going to go to the members who join later on. So it's, yeah, if you are in as a founding member, you get access to all of that. Yeah. So we currently do not have any. Um, we don't have any details of what will there be a life free plan or will it be limited and so on. There is high chance that we may or may not have free plan. We had this issue with the old platform. There are lots of users on the free plan. They're not really using the platform. They are on free and they're just sleeping on it. We want you to use the platform to make more money out of it. You don't want to just keep using it as a backup. So that's something we'll look at it.
Yeah, because like free users at the moment, you can put all your videos on here, and this is what was happening. Just so you understand what's going on with a platform, is a lot of people were using the free plan. They were just uploading tons and tons of videos and things like that, and just using it as storage. It costs a lot of money to run these things. If we opened up things like live again, it's more out of the platform, and it takes away. The site can be slowed down by lots of free users. If we've got all your pro and premium, then all your money's going back into the platform when we're building new features, stabilizing the platform, these sort of things. So yeah, you shouldn't, if you're thinking about a course creation, you shouldn't be looking at this just as a storage to put everything. You should be trying to sell your courses. We are trying to enable you to do that, and we will do the best we can. We'll carry on. We'll try and teach you a little bit about marketing, those sort of things in the future, so that you can actually get your site out there and make money from it. And I guess because of the whole corona COVID thing, this has gone crazy at the moment, because there's a lot of people now working from home and actually just reassessing their lives and thinking, you know what, I can set up my own business that I want to, and I can use a platform to do it. And if you're looking at platforms, you really want to say Zenler, because it's all built around, unlike other LMS. And I know Rakesh doesn't like the word LMS for Zenler because it's not. It's actually built around marketing. It's marketing centric. That's what we've done. We've included things like to replace things like ClickFunnels. We've got lives to replace Zoom. You don't even need a Zoom account, so you can communicate and do lives. We're bringing in new features like paying for lives. There's a ton of things going in there. You've got the whole email in there. You've got the domain verification, email authentication. You've got all the integrations in there to run with systems that you're already using. And it's all set up for you. So with this day and age where everyone's like thinking about launching a course, or they might have written a book and want to turn it into a course, like Steve Preston has. If you look at the pro interviews, that's what he did. He had 2 books and he's turned them into courses. So it's something that Zenler is a system that's got everything for you. We've tried to make it, and there's more features coming out all the time, but it's a system that covers it all. So you can feel safe and you can build on your experience. So you can start with like the quick start guide. And if you decide, what a funnel is all about, you can ask the question on the Facebook group, or you can ask us on our lives and we'll tell you all about it. And you go, yeah, I'm going to use that. And you can try things out in the system. And the system's got loads of things. Now we've even got blogs in there. So whereas even just a few months ago, it was like people were like, I'm using WordPress. I've got all my blogs on WordPress site, so I don't want to move it completely over to Zenler. But now we've got blogs in here. There's no reason you can't run your whole site, host it and everything from Zenler. You can set up unlimited pages, unlimited courses. You can do unlimited blogs. Blogs made Kevin really happy because he's a blogger. So he loves that. So yeah, it's great. It's got everything you need, I think.
Absolutely. And Aminata Leila has, she says, she's already on the free plan. She's not on the free plan. She says, when I saw the site and saw all the videos, I got the monthly plan. I'm asking because I want to move to a yearly plan, but want to make sure I will be able to move to a yearly option at the same $647 rate. Yeah. Hey, Aminata, if you are on the monthly plan, you can change to your yearly plan. You are locked in at the same level. So if you are at 647 right now, you can move to 647 at any point of time, as far as you are staying on the current founding member plan.
Yeah, I think she's paid, because it was I think it was after the last launch that we actually made it possible for people to pay monthly.
Yes.
Before that, we were actually making people pay annually.
Yeah.
So I think she's just asking that question. She's paying monthly, but she just wants to pay for it and get it all out of the way in one go, which,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
you
think
can.
yeah, I think yearly is always the best option. Monthly is always a bit more costlier, but it entirely depends on your needs and your situation. Yeah, but option is always there. We give you the flexibility for you to switch between your monthly and even you can even go from pro and premium on the exact level that you get in. So that's another added advantage.
Yeah, so it locks in both,
Yeah.
which is absolutely amazing, because premium is going to be quite a bit of money.
Yeah,
So at the moment, it's not bad at all. Remember, you get 10 sites. It's crazy.
crazy. Yeah.
So what does if she's on the monthly plan and she wants to do an annual plan, can she do that directly in her system, or does she have to contact support?
I'm not entirely sure, but I think if you do not find an option to switch to yearly, just talk to support and they can set you up.
Right, brilliant.
Cool. And I think Sophie Madness asked the question. We already answered it a few minutes ago. Probably, Sophie, you can check out once the live is finished. Probably you can go back and have a replay. This
Yeah,
was
Sophie,
regard.
like a lot of these questions, I might I'll do I'll actually give you timestamps to some of this stuff as well, because I know
Yes.
it's a long session.
Yeah, I think it's like a few minutes ago. I think around 10 minutes ago we answered this, Sophie. Yeah. So Sophie says, I thought you finished and I didn't have it look at the thread. So forgot my question. Aminatus Aminatus says hope there will be an iPhone app for us to use. There's really something I love from Kajabi. Yeah, at Aminata we like to do things on a different scale. Yeah, so we don't currently we can't really talk about the apps right now, but this is on the plan. We want to add iOS and Android apps, and also we want to be able to give you ability to build custom branded apps. So that's another thing option that we are looking at. But yeah, currently not immediately, but these are things that are on the pipeline.
Yeah, that's a big one. So yeah, let us do some of the other major updates first, and then we always try and keep you updated. It's like Rakesh is on today, and he's giving you a few sneak previews here. So it's coming up. That's all you need to know. So I'm an expert. I just came, but I was catching up on the lives. Yes, I can switch to yearly on my own. Oh, that's good. So she can just switch to yearly on her own.
Excellent. Yeah, yeah. You can do it anytime, so you don't need to contact support even. And anytime means even irrespective of price increase, you can do it anytime. So you don't need to wait for the price increase, or even you can do it even after the price increase. Also, it doesn't matter for you because you are already locked in.
Yeah, yeah. That's excellent. All right, so I've done another hour, so I'm going to have another break now. So
Cool.
I don't know if you need a break as well, Rakesh. You're doing all right, only you're fresh.
Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, I'll be online to take any questions. Yeah, I'll hang around. So, yeah.
Lovely.
See you
Well,
soon.
I'll get in contact with Kevin, see if I can get him on as well. So his head might pop up in a second.
Excellent.
So I'll see you in about 10, 12 minutes. Okay, guys.
Cool. So yeah, so guys, I'm still online. So yeah, so while we wait for David, you can shoot any questions that you have. You can share any issues that you have with the platform. We can take a look at it, and if there's something you would like New Zealand to change the way that it works and so on, we can look at it. So yeah, so this is your chance to ask whatever you want. Cool. So we have some questions. So I'll get back on. So Vicky, hey Vicky, good to see you again. Rakesh, do you plan to offer invoicing? Right. Yeah, we are quite close to releasing invoicing. So we want to be users to be able to download um, VAT compliant invoices. So without needing to manually, I think currently some users use like Zoho invoices and so on to manually generate these invoices, and it's a pain. And I think you can do it from Stripe as well with Stripe receipts. but it's not really that convenient. Yes, we want ability for your students to be able to download the invoice with one click, and the PDF will be generated. Yeah, so invoice download is coming up very soon. It's in undergoing QA right now. It's coming up soon, the wiki. So invoice download is coming up. Let me just chat so that others can see. Feature is coming up pretty soon. Cool. So that hopefully that answers the question, Vicky. Aminata says, I'm moving over my courses. I noticed that we couldn't create folders in sections of courses. Hey, Aminata, so we would like to keep the course curriculum structure quite simple. So we haven't created like too many nested, folder structures and so on. We may look at it later on, but as of now, we want to keep it quite simple and sweet. Again, it's probably in your students' best interest as well to keep things simple. So yeah, for now, we have a very simple structure. We got sections and we got lessons underneath it, and each lesson can have as many lesson types as you want. So one can be text lesson, one can be video, and so on. Yeah, I think Jamie has another question. Hey Jamie, good to see you. Yeah, let us know where you guys are in the world from. Uh, Jamie says she has a question: where and how would I add a scheduling calendar on a website and in a course? Yeah, so hey, Jamie, currently we do not have a native scheduling option right now in Zenler, but there are several tutorials on the tutorials.newzenler.com. I'm going to chat the link below into the into your chat. So yeah, so what you can do is you can either use the custom HTML element in the page editor, or the custom HTML editor as custom HTML lesson type in your courses. So there you can embed your Calendly code, or your book me once, or I think there's another one called schedule once. So you can do all of that. You can embed that code into your, if it's a course, you can do it as a lesson, as a custom HTML lesson. And if it's a uh, page editor, you can add it as a custom HTML element. So if on a page editor, on the elements, if you search for custom HTML, you can add that, and you can stick in your embed code from Calendly or schedule ones. Aminata says, is that a difficult task to add, or would it take time to add slash launch? Uh, Aminata, currently we do not have any plans to change the curriculum structure. We think it's good enough for now. But yeah, of course, if there is enough demand for it, we may look at different course curriculum types. So as of now, there is no immediate plan. So it wouldn't come before the launch, whenever that is. Venkatesh Srinivasan says, hi, when the system sends out the email upon student enrollment, this is email content doesn't show the clickable links for the course. I did try joining as a student on another Zenler user's website and had the same issue. I would have to copy paste a long URL to access the page. Is there a settings that I am missing out? Email content doesn't show the. Yeah, so let me just show you that screen. Let me just try and share my screen. So yeah, so you need to make sure you use the correct the personalized URL, otherwise it won't show up. So let me see. Okay. So yeah, so if you're looking at courses, cool. Let me see here. 1 second. Okay. Okay, so it's here. Pages. Yeah, so it's automation. So if you look at automation, if you look at edit automation rules, let's take a look at that. So if in here there is a personalized button, So you need to make sure you add the correct personalized tags. You need to click this and do this. If you paste a particular link, it won't work. So you need to make sure you use the correct course access URL here, or the course player URL here. If you want to send the users directly to the course player, you can use this. So yeah, so you need to make sure you use the correct exact the personalized variables. Otherwise, it won't work. So hopefully that explains it for you. Let me get back on the chat. Cool. Let me see what is going on. Stop share. Okay, so what else? Going through some more questions. Okay, so invoice download. Vicky says super, looking very much forward to that. Yeah, cool. So yeah, so we will look at that as well. Aminata says, where can we request features? I would like an integration with Calendly. Hey Aminata, yes, there is a feature request thread. I'll try and post a link to it below your comment. Yes, there you can request it. You can request a feature. But having said that, we are looking at not immediately. Later on, we are looking at building a native calendar functionality right into the platform, so that you can cancel stuff like Calendly and scheduled ones. So our aim and mission at Zenler is to give you the exact give you all the tools that you need, so that you literally can cancel all the third-party subscriptions. Yeah, hopefully we'll get there. You can't do it one step at a time. When Manuel Geek says, when are the VAT tax setting bugs being fixed? Yeah, I think if you can send the list of the items and the details, we can definitely look at it. We don't have many people asking for these issues. If you have all our priority is based on what people ask. If something is not being asked for many people, unfortunately, other things gets priority. So yeah, obviously whatever we do is depending on what most people want. If there's something just one or two people, one or two instructors want, obviously it's going to take time to get prioritized. So we work we are entirely driven by what most of the users want. So we have to optimize our bandwidth and our resources based on what most people want. Aminata says a custom built software like Calendly will be so cool. Zenler is amazing. Yes, that is what we are planning to do. We are trying to build, we plan to build like a Calendly, like a native Calendly like option, so that you can, easily book your live courses and so on. You have a calendar and publish and so on. Venkat says, looking for my course page enhancements, especially looking for search feature in my courses page to recently, etc., to make user experience easy. I think what Venkat is saying is, in my courses page, he wants to, to be able to search based on, different stuff like recently taken courses and so on, what courses you need to complete and so on. Right now, it's a lot of courses for a subscription plan, and it is a forest. Yes, Venkat, we will look at that later. So currently my course is a bit bare, but yeah, so we will look at enhancing that sometime later. Manual Geek says it affects all customers from you, if they know it or not. Don't you know we have many customers from you? Yes, yeah. So I think we recently we did a change for the EU customers. We took the VAT ID out of the field, so that's something we did. Yeah. So if you send the requirements to support, we can definitely look at that. So whatever it is. Manual, yes, it's just wrong and messes up our business. I agree. We need to prioritize it. Again, we can prioritize it if there are lots of people ask for it. So we cannot prioritize it just for few users. So if there are lots of people use it, request for it, we can definitely look at it. But currently, our priority is the page builder and pricing on live and so on, and also improving the robustness of what we got. If there is bugs and stuff like that, definitely if you can send all the details in, we can look at it. We can prioritize it. Venkatesh says, thank you, Rakesh. Yes, email automation works fine. I think it is the welcome email sent automatic by Zenler. I will do a test and email support. Thank you. Email automation works fine. Yeah, I think test email, I think test email should work fine. I think talk to support, test email, if it has a link, it should work fine. Just make sure your course is, it's not secret or anything or something like that. Something. Manuel says it's a bug needs fixed. Yeah, but even bugs has priority. So we look at it bugs based on priority as well. So yeah, so send it to support, and we will prioritize it if we have to prioritize it uh, based on what most people want and stuff like that. Yeah, we'll definitely look at it if there's a critical one. Leave says, hi guys, I followed David's live on Sunday and I'm building on a membership now. I tried to set it up as a bundle. Problem is that I have three topics I would like to keep separated, but in one membership so that students can roam from one topic to another.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Um, yeah, first of all, I just want to say hello to Kevin. Kevin's joined us.
oh, excellent.
Hey team, I
Hey,
feel like it's a Wednesday.
yeah, looks like you disappeared.
I'm just going to answer this question. So, Liev, you, as far as the membership site's concerned, I know we were working with them and keeping the separate courses, and we were keeping them secret, so to tie them up as a membership. But on Sundays live, I think you've signed up for it. Make sure you do, because I'll go into detail on how you can run them as individual courses, and you can also run them into the bundle like we already have. So don't worry about that. We'll cover that on the Q&A open house session on Sunday that we're running for another 2 hours. So there we go. So now we've got Kevin on. You've had a busy day, Kevin. Kevin's just setting up. So Kevin's on. So I wanted Kevin to go through the challenge that he's got, because he's run some really successful blogging challenges. And I'd like him to kind of explain to you what is sort of going on with them, where you can sign up for them. Now, you can sign up for them on tutorials.newzenler.com, and he's set it up as an evergreen course. So he's going to have a chat to you guys about what it's all about. And it's pretty fantastic. I actually took the course myself, learned quite a few things, and there was also a few surprises in there as well. So it's brilliant. So up to you, Kevin, take it away.
Yeah, I'm here now. Sorry, I muted myself and then I lost my buttons to unmute, which I still haven't found properly yet. But anyway, oh, it's back now. How strange life is at times. Okay, so David, well done so far. I've been following you on and off all day, and you're doing a sterling job for the community here by showing up. So I just wanted to show appreciation for that, because anyone that's done live streaming for more than about 10 seconds of their life will know coming on and doing 6 or 8 hours is actually a monumental task. It's very draining, very exhausting, and David's doing a fantastic job running this today. So give him some claps and some thumbs up, because he's doing great on this. Okay, so let's talk blogging, shall we? Now, one of the features that was released this year was obviously the blogging area within New Zenler, because New Zenler is an all-in-one platform, and although primarily people come here for the learning management side, so the courses and all of that, there are all these extra bits there. So you actually can just have New Zenler as your online home. So you can create a website out of it. David's gone through all the funnel stuff and all of the list stuff that we can have. But the blogging bit, I get really excited by this, because it's one of my favorite things to do online. So the blogging area is fantastically simplistic right now. So if you're new to creating blog posts or blog content, it's really, really great place to start, because you're not overwhelmed with all of the bells and whistles that you can put into a blog. So it's really great to focus on what you're writing, and the process and the strategy behind the content you're going to create. Hence the 5-day blogging bootcamp or challenge, was born because it was really quite obvious that people were, you're all on here because you teach something, and what you teach isn't marketing for most of you or anything like that. So it's really obvious that as Zenler, we needed to give you a little bit of a boost and say, you know what, we can use this platform to market. So let's show you how you can use blogging to start building interest to your site from the search engines. You can share it out on Facebook and all of that stuff. So the 5-day blogging challenge was born. It's a really easy one to get into because one of the things with blogging is people don't really know where to start. They sort of go through the traditional posts of how-to posts and what's it about posts and stuff like that. And then they run out of ideas real quick. They create something that they believe is informational, but is often not quite what people are looking for. So I devised a sequence of 5 posts, which were really easy to follow. I gave you a structure to it. So I gave you a headline, you fill in the blanks, gave you how many paragraphs you needed to do and what you needed to focus on, and you filled it in with your own content, which some of it's about you, so you should really know that. If you don't, you've got a bit of a problem. And some of it was about the courses and the outcomes of the courses that you've created, because obviously we need to do that for our sales pages and everything else. So it all links up. And what happened was at the end of it, it created a nice, really nice 5-post sequence to help you launch a course or to sell a course. And that was the goal behind it. And the people that went through it and did 5 days were doing quite well. Now, for people that got really confident, you could take that content and use it in other ways. And I show you how to do that. I'm not going to tell you how we did that. You have to join the challenge to do that. But it was a really smart way of how you can use those 5 pieces of content in a number of different ways to engage in different ways with your leads, your prospects, your readers, an external audience, and all of that, all with the one focus of getting them to understand your course, look at your course, and engage with you, your brand, and your business online. And we had a lot of fun doing it. So if any of you are watching this and you did go through it, let me know what your experience is. We've had testimonials, which is great. I know people that are still going through it and they're really enjoying it. There is no right or wrong really with this. And as you become a creative writer for your business, you'll understand it's very different. Copywriting and blogging is very different. We can be conversational in the way that we write, but there is a structure to it. So that's really what we focus on. And it's really about just having a go, putting it out there. And the one absolutely brilliant thing about being online, whether it's a blog, a sales page, a funnel, a course, is, of course, we've got that wonderful button that says edit. So if we get something that we want to change in the future, we can just go back and go edit, update, and it's done. And it's that simple. So you have to have just that little bit of drive to say, I want to get involved, I want to do it. And this goes for your courses too. You just got to be brave enough to take that first step, to put something out to people that don't know you. And once you've done it once, you'll be almost addicted to it because you want to keep doing it. And you know, it becomes fun. You really start, I call it almost like a writing therapy. And there is such a thing as writing therapy. And if anyone teaches that, I'm not going to get into it, but you do learn a lot about yourself. You learn a lot about your course, and you learn a lot about your communication when you start writing blog posts, because people will come back and ask stuff and you'll go, where did you get that from? And they've read what you've written in a certain way, maybe not in the way that you meant it. And then you have to look back and go, am I explaining that properly? Have I made that clear? Is that the point I want you to make? And all these things come from it. So it's a fascinating journey to go on. And there is going to be, in the course of the next few months, I'm going to start doing special weekly masterclasses on blogging. So you do the 5-day blogging boot camp, you learn the basics, and then we're going to focus on a particular type of blog post, what the structure is, what the purpose of it is, how it's going to benefit your business, how we can make it work in the search engines, because we didn't really look at that in the challenge because you do a lot of it naturally anyway. There is a thing called over optimization, and this is where plugins become quite dangerous. If you've got a WordPress SEO plugin, people go, I've got to get green lights, I've got to get 100%. And actually you can over optimize, and that can cause you a problem. So natural is best, but with a tweak of awareness around what you're trying to be found for that piece of content. So it's sort of a bit like a recipe, but very nicely free flowing. So that's something that I want you to just have a look at. If you've not yet explored that element on your site and you're thinking, you know what, it's time to start reaching a new audience, to reach new people, then, you know, look at the blogging side of things. Just start with that course, that 5 days, because at the very least you'll have something that that's easy to do, and I've guided you through it. It creates nice content, and you can then start to explore a little bit more from there. It's really hard when you don't have someone to say your first post should be, or the first thing you should write about is. And that, therefore, when you're left and you're not really sure, you end up doing nothing because you don't know what to do. So the blogging challenge will help you do that. So David's kindly showing it for us. Head over to tutorial.newzenler.com. Of course, and I reiterate this every time in office hours and every live I ever do, everything we do training wise with New Zenler is free. So the official New Zenler stuff is always free. Challenges are free, workshops are free, boot camps are free. David's insane 8-hour sprints are free. Everything we do on the training side is free because we want you to get the best from it. And that's our commitment here at Zenler to you, the people that are using New Zenler to sell your courses. So please do go and have a look. It's a lot of fun to get involved in. I'm always about, David's about, he's getting involved in the blogging side of things. You know, so if you've got questions on it, ask. That is as simple as that. As always, I might not have the answer. Blogging is a subjective thing, so it's not a analytical thing, as in there's always a right or wrong way. There's sometimes variations that you can do, and a variation is just different. You know, it's a very artistic, if you like, creative way of doing stuff. It's a bit like designing a web page. You know, on a home page, you probably should have certain elements in it, but there's also a lot of scope to do other bits in there, which is why not everybody's homepage looks the same. And blogging is the same. It's very, you can have a structure to it, you can have a purpose to it, and there's little bits that you probably need to have in it, but the rest of it's very free flowing, which is why they invented micro blogging, which is under 200 words for a blog post. Pointless in my opinion, but it exists. All the way through to writing 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 word blog posts with, you know, menus in it like books and jump links and all of that stuff. And there's everything in between. You know, so the biggest question people always ask is, how long should a blog post be? That's always the question that comes up. And my answer is always the same. It's as long as it needs to be to serve the purpose of the post. That's it. So if you're writing a post on with one particular objective, cut the waffle, cut the repetition, because that doesn't necessarily need to be in there. And once you've edited it, that is how long it will be. If you can keep it over 500 words, that's fantastic, because it means it's actually got some quality behind it. If it can go a bit higher, that's brilliant, but don't sit there with a counter going, it has to be 800 words, and you'll stretch it to 800 because you're just putting in filler words and stuff like that, because then it dilutes the quality. And Google will read it and it will just see repetition, and it will go, actually, this isn't very good. Your reader will read it and say, there's repetition, this isn't very good, which is even more important. So it has to have a really nice flow to it, do the point of what the post is, and that's how long it has to be. And it's as simple as that. But yeah, have a look at the blogging challenge. I think a lot of people will be surprised that even the people that say they're not very good at writing, and I am a self-proclaimed poor writer, you'll be surprised at what you can do when you allow yourself just a little bit of freedom, and you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, I found Kevin, it was a brilliant challenge for me, but mainly I'm on videos, but I do consider myself to be creative. And when I was writing, it sort of lit an old fuse in me. It
Yeah.
sort of ignited a little fire that I haven't looked at for many years, where I used to write lots of stories and things. And it's amazing how you can sort of create a journey and the creativity that you can get into these posts. Personally, I like to have a little bit of fun with my posts that I do. It makes people laugh, and it's also keep it on a lighter note. But like you said, Kevin, it depends what market you're going for. I know I've done a lot of websites for sort of the scientific community, and they're very dry, and that's how they like it. They don't like graphics really; they just like black and white. And yet you've got the other scope if you're going into music and those sort of things where they like all this stuff going on. So it does make a big difference who you're actually writing it for, where you're putting the blog posts as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, it can do, and there's science behind it, and we've been trained from a very young age to read in a certain way, which is why historically on a page, so if you look at any page, you'll see the F format, which is the old typical magazine newspaper article, headline, content column, image to the right, down, and that's how people read, because we've been trained from early age to do it that way. So we replicate it online because we want to go with what's naturally comfortable for people. That doesn't mean it's the only way of doing it. And as you say, different styles, different ways. Sarah, my partner, she's been a pro blogger for many years, and she's taught blogging to thousands upon thousands of people, yet she will still find a style of writing, hire a coach to teach her that style, because there's so many different ways of doing it. It's like reading a book. You get an author with all different styles of writing. They're still authors, they're still telling a story, but they do it in different ways. And you like some styles, you like other styles less. And blogging is the same. You sort of find your flow, you find your own way of doing it. It's a bit like having conversations and how you are as an individual. And it's really, really fascinating and exciting when you get involved in it. Because it's just a real you explore yourself much more doing that. And of course, if you write a blog post and you sit there and go, and you can write anything you like, you don't have to actually press publish. You can just write it and go delete. There's no law to say just because you've written it you have to publish it, but sometimes you might just want that escape to get that out because it's been whirling around in your mind, and you go, right, I'm going to do this. I really want to write this post. You write it. It might even be a ranty post, which are okay now and again to have a little rant. You've got to be a little bit careful when you do it, but it's okay to do it as long as you don't get known as the ranty person. But you might be really furious about something that's happened in your industry or in life or whatever, and you write a really long post and and then just as you hit it, you go, oh, I feel good now, delete. Thanks very much, blog. I don't need you. And it works great. So there's so many things that you can use it for, but ultimately what we're here for is we want it to help build an audience. We want it to help build an audience, maybe get them into a lead magnet or a funnel or directly into a course. And you can do that using New Zenler. You can use the challenge that we've built that will create that sequence for you. Have a bit of fun along the way. And hopefully the result of that will be you can then replicate it for different courses with a slight tweak. Some of it will be similar, but not the same. Because each course will be, of course, it will be different. So, and as you do it each time, you'll write it slightly differently because you're then 5 posts more experienced than you was the first time. And it's as simple as that.
Yeah, you do get quicker. You get quicker, and you also at first when you're doing it, when I was doing like 500 words, it was hard getting there. I had to structure it a little bit. I was juggling things around. After about the third one, I was just writing, and it was like up to 800 and something. And I've done some since. I did some old blog posts quite a long time ago, and there was so much shorter and very salesy. And I looked at them and I was like, oh, that's just horrible. You know, that's just really trying to pressure people into buying. So I totally re-looked at the way I was doing it, because I was working my blogs now like I do with my videos, which is a very sort of soft approach. You know, you take it or leave it. But weirdly enough, like when you write things down and put it out there, you're a bit more kind of insensitive, and you need to be sensitive. You know, you're doing it. You know, like with text, people say things in text or on Facebook that they wouldn't say to someone in person. So you don't want to do that in the blog posts either. You want to make sure that you're very personable, I think.
Yeah, it's conversation. It's almost, when you write it, it's almost like you're having that conversation with one person, which is always the ideal client for that, or reader for that post. So like you say, if you wouldn't actually say that to them or put it that way, and salesy ones are the most, you know, we've got sales pages for that. We don't need to write that in blog posts. You know, blog posts always have a function of, they have one call to action. And that one call to action could be, have a look at this offer. It could be, come and look at my webinar. It could be whatever that's related to the post. But the sign up page for the webinar does almost the selly bit, the same as the sales page for the course does the selly bit, but you've already warmed them up. And even those pages don't have to be hardcore sales. They're just sort of information as to what it is that they're looking to get involved in. That's all. But yeah, just bear in mind, and what can really help is when you're writing, if you're starting to struggle and go a little bit too clinical with it, is to, when you do your avatars for who you're writing to, actually get a picture and print it off and put it on your PC or put it on your wall, and then just look at them in between your writings. So you're actually looking at, it's like you're sitting opposite that person. And I know it sounds a bit weird, but it works.
Yeah, no, it does. I do that. I don't do it so much now, but I did that with videos, because you're just looking at a camera, and I'm just used to, I wasn't, before Zenler, I wasn't used to like being on camera really. I would do it, but I was mainly like, I just share the screen and just talk. It's fine. So first of all, what I was doing behind the webcam was I was sticking pictures up, and then I would just be looking at the picture. And it's weird, because although it's no, you know, it's just a picture, you're looking at it and you can connect with it. So yeah, I think the same for blogs as well. Look up and look at what you're trying to, who you're trying to reach, that kind of thing.
But we're programmed from babies. That's when we're taught to, when we're taught from a very young age, you know, even before we can speak, we have a person in front of us that's communicating. So we're used to it. So when that's not there, it feels weird. It's just, there's no real, you know, in-depth explanation behind it. It's as simple as that. We're just used to, when we have a conversation, getting some feedback back, or seeing someone. Even on the telephone, we have the feedback come back. Yeah. If you're doing a webinar and it's just one way, or a live stream and you're not interacting back with people through chat or anything like that, it's really difficult, because you don't have that connection. You can't feel that connection of a presence being there.
Yeah.
So to have that picture there, you can just, your brain is registering someone's there, even though they're not really, but we're tricking ourselves to think actually there is someone there. And it just works, because humans are a little bit silly at times. So, you know, we believe our own stuff. So if we put a picture up and go, that's actually a person, we believe it's a person without even thinking about it. And then we're all good and we just go, yeah, let's just move on. So, you know,
yeah.
So it's a fascinating world. And, you know, the blogging side of things against things like learning platforms and softwares is a never ending journey of discovery and learning. There's no destination to it. It's just a constant improving, learning, understanding and moving. So Tracy's just saying the blogging challenge is awesome. So thank you for that. Yeah, so constantly moving forward, and you know, you get on that roller coaster of learning it, and you just enjoy it. You know, it's like, for me, it would be a never-ending Big Dipper, just constantly go. You know, brilliant.
Yeah, so it's so Kevin's 5-day blogging challenge. You've got that as I showed that earlier. So you can go, I'll put a link in the chat for that as well. So you can go to that blogging challenge here and you can enter into there and get access to it. And so Kevin was also mentioning about future and doing more advanced stuff. So I don't suppose you've got, I'm going to push you for this, but I don't suppose you've got a time scale on when that's going to kind of happen. I know, because I'm going to talk to Kevin in a minute about the pro interviews. So Kevin's doing a lot of stuff and he's really busy with the pro interviews. But have you got any kind of date? Is it going to be like next sort of month, 2 months or something?
No, what I'm thinking is I'm probably, and don't 100% hold me to this, but I'm probably going to do the Launch Your First Course Challenge live again next month.
Oh, great. So that was another big thing as well. I spoke about
because I didn't put that evergreen yet. And I was thinking about it the other week, and I was thinking, you know what, it's something that, you know, the group gets a lot from when they go through it live. So I want to go back through that live again for people that haven't been through it or struggled to get their first course out, and just go back through that again. So I'm planning on redoing that. Hence, the advanced blogging stuff is a little bit on hold. It's going to happen, you know, but I think also coming into the summer, not everybody always has the time to get that involved in these types of things. So sort of want to give people a little bit of time with what's going on. But yeah, that's the plan, is to do, I've done it once this year, the Launch Your First Course Challenge. I like to do it 2 or 3 times. So if I do one in maybe mid to the end of July, and then I can get one in just before Christmas to get courses out just before Christmas, is the idea. So 3 times live, and then we'll stick it evergreen maybe next year for people. So that's the plan.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like in the UK, it's summertime, so like winter time, you get a lot of stuff done. You're in more, so you get stuff done. So we can ramp all that sort of stuff up as well. Yeah. But you've also got the pro interviews. So I've seen the pro interviews; they're brilliant. And I know you're interviewing more people. So have you closed the slot on that, or can people still apply for it?
Yeah, it's closed at the moment, but I'm going to reopen it up again Monday. No, actually, I'm going to reopen it again Wednesday after office hours. All right, so people can reapply for that. And you know, the pro user interviews are really great because you get to see the different stuff people are how they're using Zenler differently, because everybody as a pro user gets access to the same features. Nobody gets special treatment. You know, the free users get a certain amount, we know that, but everyone above 3 gets access to exactly the same features within Zenler. You know, we all get the funnels, we all get the blogging, we all get all of that stuff. So it's really fascinating to see how people that are pro and premium users are creating a look and a feel that's different for their type of business using the same platform. And really, that's what we're delving into. How do they create their courses? What's their process? Do they have a structure behind it? You know, what do their sites look like? I'm not looking at the back end of their sites, like the admin side, just the front end of it. You know, what have you got? Have you got a waiting list? Have you got a funnel? Have you got a quiz? You know, what are you doing that's making your business work to sell your courses? And that's really what we're getting into with them. And it's been really, really interesting. And I've got a fantastic one coming up where one of the guys that I interviewed, he actually used Google Translate to translate his whole site into his whole course into a different language to sell it. And he's sold thousands of them, which is brilliant. I couldn't read a word of it, but it looked really impressive. So, but it's just the creativity that goes behind it I find fascinating, and hopefully it will inspire the community to say, you know, that's a good idea. I don't want to copy that, but it's made me think maybe I can do something a bit different. You know, because we don't want to copy everybody else. It's, you know, let's have our own ideas, but we can bounce creativity off of each other. And that will really help you take it away from almost the templated site that you start with Zenler, which is what we give you to start with if you have nothing, to make something quite unique for yourself without having to be a web designer, without having to code, without having to pay someone millions of pounds to make it look a bit different. Because all of the people that I've interviewed, they're not web designers, they're not techies, They've just played around, gone through the tutorial site, gone through David's masterclass bundle, gone through the main course, and just found the bits they want and just improved a little bit each week, changed a little bit each week, added a feature in when they're ready for that feature. So it's been really, really good. So I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, so I know you were talking to Steve Preston, which is the latest one up on the YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/Steve/Zenler. And inside there under the pro interviews. And, you know, I was watching it. I've watched it a couple of times actually, because there's some really interesting points in there. One of them was Steve Preston actually took up Zenler before we kind of got our hands on doing all the tutorials and stuff. So he actually had very little resources. And the word of the day, which keeps coming up from the testimonials and on all of your challenges, on the pro interviews, is intuitive. People love it because it's intuitive. I mean, for us, that's brilliant, isn't it? If something's intuitive, we know people are working with it nice and easily.
Yeah. Right, David, I'm going to have to jump off because we've got a 4 o'clock call.
Right, okay.
But I'm going to try and jump back on again before you go. So I'm going to switch devices and try and head back in again.
Right, that's all right. That's all right,
All right.
Kevin. So, yeah, thank you, Kevin, ever so much. I know you've got to rush off, but appreciate you being here.
No worries.
Cool. See you later, Kevin.
So there we go. Kevin was on here telling you all about his blogging challenge. And yeah, so, you know, really interesting stuff. And, you know, he was saying about how one of the people that he hasn't put the pro interview up for, but is actually using the site and using Google Translate. That actual same person, he doesn't even speak that language and he's selling the courses. So, I mean, how crazy is that? So I can't wait for that pro interview to come up. On that note, we have actually added Google Translate into the tutorials.newzenler page. So I'm going to quickly show it to you now. And I might do a tutorial on this, but it'll probably be in the Ninja Tricks. And basically, I've just installed Google Translate up here. So if you go to a different language like Arabic, any live text will be converted into that language. So let me just click one of those. I'll probably need to refresh this. I had it up a second ago. Let's go in and do this. So there we go. Look, straight away, any live text, that is. So if you're doing these stuff, because this has got text in the image, it's not being translated. So if you are going to use Google Translate or any sort of translation plugin, remember that it will only apply to live text on the page. This is a really kind of a big subject because I've seen a lot of course creators creating main call to action blocks, and they're using images, and they're using quite big images on there, and they're laying out their text, and they're using things like Canva, and Canva's really good. But if possible, you should try to keep everything as live text. One of the biggest reasons is for resizing. When you start to resize down, you're going to notice the block goes down and this text then becomes unreadable. So you can see all this text, live text, is absolutely perfect. And when I make this really big, you can then read it. So this is something you need to bear in mind. Now, I did this with an instructor. I can't remember the first name, but her second name was Tanis. And she had laid out a big CTA block in the middle, and she put text around it, a nice signature, it was really cool. But when she reduced it down for mobile, you couldn't read it. You couldn't read what it said. And so this is a big issue. So what I say to you is try to keep everything. I mean, I can get this same design, apart from our Zenler logo, this bit's here. Even the challenge, I could put this into live text. I could put all of this into live text as well and create that slash across there. So when I release the CTAs, which I will be adding to, I will be also in the Ethically Copy site course. I'll be showing how to do this and just why you should be using live text as much as possible. Now, another big reason to use live text is it's searchable by the search engines. So spiders, although spiders are little things that crawl around the web, okay, they're not actually physical, they just crawl around, and they're sent out by Google, search engines like Google, Yahoo, Bing, and they'll go and check the sites out, and they'll look around, and they really will absorb all of the live text. But when it comes to images, they will look at alt text. So that's text you've put on the image. So you don't generally put tons of text on an image, so it's less indexable. Okay, I'll be covering this in the Zenler Marketing Basics course as well. So just bear that in mind when you get it in your head. So if you're going to do a big image and you resize it down, it's probably not going to look good in a mobile. So you might have to allow for that. So some people, what they do is you can do a block for mobile, and you can do a block for desktop and tablet, and you can tell the system to turn it off if it's in a mobile device, and if it's in a desktop or tablet, you can turn them on. And it's really easy to do this in the system. So what I'm going to do is just jump in here and just show you how you could do a block. So pretend, it doesn't matter which block, pretend this block, I only want to show this block on a mobile. In fact, let me just create another block just to make it really easy for you to see. So I'll just go and grab an empty block and I will show you. So I'm going to delete this form out and drop in some text. So I'm just going to drop in some text, and I'm just going to say desktop or something like that. So I'll drop in a row, and I'll drop in a heading, and I'm just going to call this desktop. Okay. So I'm now going to take this and I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to call this block, this duplicated block, I'm going to call it mobile, and I'm going to call it tablet. Okay, so what you can do is under this block settings here, in fact, even elements you can do this for, or rows, we can go into the settings and we can go across to here, and you can see I can say hide on, and then I could say hide this on mobile and hide this on tablet. So what I've done here is I've told the system only to display this on desktop. Okay, so let's go to the mobile one now, and let's just hide this on desktop. So we're going to go across to here, we're going to go across to settings, and we're going to go hide on desktop. So you're going to see it straight away disappears. That hasn't disappeared, it's just hidden it because we're looking at this on desktop view. So you'll even see it collapse up. So if I now go to save this and we preview it, you're going to see the desktop version appear. And as I drag the window in, you're going to see tablet mobile appear. So it's turned off the desktop block and it's turned on the mobile. Now, this is the way that you would do it if you're using an image, because you'll set an image for tablet mobile or just mobile, and you'll have a different image for maybe desktop and tablet. So you can switch that off and switch that one on. So if you are using images, this is the way to do it. If you're using live text, you don't really need to do it because it should all flow. You should design it so it flows nicely. So let's have a look at this now. I'm just going to preview this. You can see it says desktop, but watch, as if by magic, it will replace it now with the correct version. And this always, like, wow, people go wow to this because they don't realize that you can do it, but you can actually turn them off for selected devices. Another reason you might want to do this, if you've got a really heavy big image in a desktop and you want the page to load quickly on a mobile, you might turn that one off, that big block that you've got that might have 4 or 5 videos in. You might turn it off for mobile devices. So this is the way that you can do it. Now, how can I get that block back if I'm trying to edit it? Well, I can go into here and I can go to mobile, and then I'm going to see the mobile view. And if I want to get it all back, I can just click in this block, go to the gear icon, and I can just turn it back on for desktop like that. And now when I click back to desktop view, I've got them both up. So if you need to edit them, some people have problems. They're like, how do I get that back up? It's disappeared. I don't know where it is. So you can do it that way. You can just go to that version and turn that off, re-edit it, and then turn it back on again. So a little tip for you there on that. So Jamie's saying, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, lots of people don't realize that's there. So they look at the responsive side and they don't actually realize that you can turn blocks on and off. Now, not just blocks, you can turn elements on and off as well. So if I've got two elements in there, I can go into this red element and I can go to settings, and you can see I've got the same at hide on devices, not only elements, but also rows as well. So if I go into the row settings, you can see again, I have that option to turn it off. So you're not necessarily just for a whole block, you can apply it to rows and elements as well. So this then opens up a whole brand new world, you know. If you are doing this, you could actually design the page, you could design the top part of the page all for desktop, and then you could do the lower half of the page all for mobile, and then just turn them off and on for one. That would give you quick administration. I wouldn't say do them in series as blocks. Just do the first top half as desktop view, and if you're going to do this, then do the whole bottom part as mobile, because from an administration point of view or a design point of view, it will make it a lot easier for you to work with. Now imagine also I can change the background color. So I could say I could put the background color for desktop in red, and I could put the background color for mobile in blue. So then when you bring it down, the colors will change as well. You could add video into there, you could add images into there, and they would just appear. So in theory, you could have a completely different site on a mobile or a tablet than you have on a desktop, all from one page, not creating an extra page, it's all doing it within the page itself. So that's how we can do that. So Venkatesh has put, David, if we hide a block in all three, desktop, tablet, by accident, how do we unhide it? Oh, I don't know. I've never tried that. Let's see what happens. Rakesh, do you know what will happen if I do this? There we go. It's actually still there.
Sorry, I missed the question. What is the question?
Venkatesh asked the question, with the blocks, if you hide on tablet, desktop and mobile, how do you get the block back? So
you should be able to get it from manage blocks. If you go to click on blocks on the top, on the left, top left,
blocks.
Click on blocks and there's be manage blocks at the top. Manage blocks at the top.
Yeah, here we go. So yeah, I don't use this, funny enough.
Yeah, that's actually quite most people don't know it, but it's quite big functionality. I mean, there's a lot of options there.
Brilliant. So here we go. You can see all the blocks. So you can see all the blocks that are in there. So we've got, you see that block 2 that you hid on all of them. Let's just turn all these off and you watch, it will just pop up in a second. There we go. So that's how you do it, manage blocks. So this is quite good. You can go in here and you can manage them all from this point of view. So you could turn these blocks off and on, and it saves going into the gear icon. So if I do all, I get rid of it completely. Then I turn it on just for desktop, which I can just check there and it pops back up. So yeah, very cool. So manage blocks, that's an awesome feature that I never really use. That's what I mean. Zenler's great. I've been working with this platform for ages now, and I'm still surprised by some things that pop up. So there we go.
Cool. Yeah.
Great. So yeah, you're happy with that. Good.
Cool. Let's see any other questions.
Yeah. Have we got any more questions?
I think I missed the link again. 1 second. I think there's a question from Howard Whiteson. He tried to ask a question. I did chat on. I did post a comment in here. He's from China and his site is charismacoach.biz. I think what he said is he's saying he's getting frustrated. He changed his domain due to his business name changing. Since then, his unsubscribe in his email does not work and his website does not publish, and he cannot access the site at all, etc., etc. So he has posted a site name as charismacoach.biz.
Okay, where's that? I can't see that in the.
I'm going to post it. 1 second.
I might have a look at it. Sometimes it can be a case that you just haven't cleared your cache. Maybe it will show fine.
Yeah, I don't know. That's he says he's from China. I don't know whether something is blocked in China. This it can happen as well.
Yeah, some countries do block things, so you have to be aware of that.
Yeah, that's one possibility, I guess. So where is it gone?
In the
Okay.
meantime, if you get that post, I'm just going to reply to Sunita.
Yep.
Sunita. She is, right. I've been using live text and less graphics. Yeah, that's good. Coolio, hurry up, people, and get your testimonials in. So she's saying about Sunita's. She did a video testimonial with a colleague of hers and a friend of hers, and they did it together. So it was really good. They had two of them in the testimonial, which was very cool. So thanks for that. So I'm trying to find where your question is, Sunita. Can't find it. How many testimonial spaces are left? Yep. So there's 7 of the video testimonial spaces. So here's the question. So I've got a question, please. Once I've got our domain pointed to NZ site, will I need to alter the backend page creation URL, or will they automatically get rid of the newzenler.com suffix? And will the website front end automatically show? Question is, yes, it will. It will get rid of the New Zenler suffix. It would just be your domain. Just like I've got for Surf Dudes here. It's the same. It was surf-dudes at .newzenler.com, and just changed it, and it is absolutely fine. So it, yeah,
Yeah. I think only the one thing you have to keep in mind is if you have hard coded any links to user domain, you need to go and change it manually. So we don't take care of that. Whatever is dynamic, we take care for you. Take care for you.
Yeah. So if you look at the courses that I've done, and this is another reason why you should follow some of the courses, what I do with the links is I use what's called relative links. Now, what relative links are is they don't need to include the whole domain name. So if you've got a page like this, register, you can just use the end part, which is /register. You can't see it on there because I've hidden the page up, but you can use the /register, and then it will go to whatever the URL. So I use what's called relative links. A lot of people make the mistake and they use, which is fair enough because you're grabbing URLs from the site. But if we go into the site here, and I just go into, there we go, pages, then what you can do, instead of grabbing, when you're creating links inside a page, okay, you've got things like this. So a lot of people will grab the whole link, okay. The thing is, if you then later on, you've hard coded those into buttons, and then you decide to change the URL of your site, or the domain on the URL, the site address, and then you've got those dotted around your site, you're going to need to go to each of those buttons and change them to the new URL / for this one, form test. So what you can do instead, and this is my little tip to you, is don't use the whole URL, just use from the end of the domain name. So in this case, I've got surf-dudes.com. From there, I then take this part, so it's / form test. Now, if I use that inside any of the pages in my site, it will resolve to the correct URL. So it will be surfdudes.com / form test. So it's called relative URLs instead of absolute URLs. So a relative URL is just part of it from the end of the domain, and then you paste that in there. And an absolute URL is the whole URL. So what this means, like I said to you, is if you're doing a relative link, then it means if you change the name of your site or anything, those URLs will still work. All right. So that's a big one. So as Rakesh mentioned, if you do change your URL domain, if you've used the whole URL, like whatever you like, .newzenler.com, you're going to need to go into all those links and change them to the correct URL. So definitely check that. You might want to put it live and then quickly go around and change your site URLs, but that will happen. All right, so I think that's that. Brilliant. So I think that's you sorted out, Sunita. Okay, so got a question here. All right, so Anita and Sunita, your twin sisters. Yeah, I thought you were twins. Brilliant. Okay, so Martina, I've got a question from her. She's saying pro users create additional schools using other domains. Yes, you can. So what you're seeing when I'm showing you Surf Dudes is actually a secondary site. I've got my actual site, which is courses.mojomojo.design, and then under it, I've created a new school called Surf Dudes. So completely different, separated from Mojo Mojo completely. So yes, and with Pro you can have up to 3 schools. With Premium you can have up to 10. That's right, isn't it, Rakesh? 10 schools.
Yes, I think yeah, Pro is 3 and Premium is 10. Martina, only limitation is you need to own all of these sites. You cannot host like a client site or agents. You cannot act like an agency. Yeah, so you can have 3 sites for Pro and 10 sites for Premium.
Yeah, because they are connected by the root site. Yep. So whatever site you've set up, you've registered, that's your main site. That's your main login to it all. Yeah, to get in the super. So you can't actually run it, and it is tied, but it's under it. But all the other elements are all as they would be in the root site. So you can check, you can set up your own emails for it. You can set up your own domain. All these things are all separated, but it's all under that one master site. Okay.
Cool. Any other questions?
Good. Yeah, I think Sunita's asked another one as well. She's got, bro, I checked that just in case. Oh, right. She's checking what we said. The other person in the video is her twin, and she's on as well. So yeah, thank you for the info. So yeah, we're covered. Brilliant.
Excellent. Cool.
That's cool. Great. That's good. So yeah, so what I'm going to do in the next massive session, this hasn't been too bad actually. I've been quite good. So thank you, Rakesh, for backing me up in the afternoon session, because it's been brilliant. And I'm sure that people are like amazed at all the new features that are going to be coming out as well. So really good. Next, day with Zenler. I'm going to, as I was mentioning earlier, I'm going to do actually a site. So I'm going to start with a brand new site, and I'm going to show you how to build a site out. We just choose a subject. In fact, I might get you guys to choose a subject, and I might just build it out right in front of you. And we're going to create one course as well. Now I'm going to put dummy content into that course, but I'm going to show you how quick to do it. So that will be the driving force. So if I haven't got any questions, I'll be carrying on with that. So we'll see in those 8 hours whether I can build a site, a course, and answer your questions at the same time. So next time, we're also going to put a form out there so we can get lots of questions from you if you can't attend. We're going to publicize this more. This was a trial to see how successful it is. Like we said, we've had quite a lot of people on here. I think this is a raging success. So that's a good thing. So we've got about another 40 minutes to go, I think.
Yep.
So I'm going to have another quick little break, and then we'll come back. Hopefully there'll be some more questions in there. Are you staying around, Rakesh?
Yeah, I'll hang around and answer any questions. Yeah, I'll see you soon.
Brilliant. All right.
Cool. Yeah, let me take a few more questions while online. Aminata says, do you have abandoned cart emails? Hey, Aminata, we currently do not have the ability to fire off like abandoned cart emails. So when someone tries to purchase something and then they stop and they abandon and they don't come back or whatever, and if you want to capture that email and send them an email later, we don't have that functionality right now, but this is on our list and we will get to it some point later. There's no immediate plans, but definitely is on our list. Jamie says, I had a question about, please, Jamie, please repost the question. I can't really see scrolling up your question. If you can repost it, that would be great. Venkatesh says, hi again, Venkatesh. Can the payments be different for each site? Site 1, can it be PayPal? Site 2, can it be Razorpay? I think you can. I think each site, yeah, I think you have to, unless I'm wrong, I think you can integrate with different payment methods. Um, yeah, it depends. Have you tried it? It might be worth trying and see if each site has its own integrations, then you can. If each site does not have its own integration, then you can't. So let me put it that way. Cool. So we are live here for another like half an hour, 35 minutes or so. Yeah, ask us anything and we'll try to answer any of your questions. This is a marathon, like 8 hour, 4 hour sessions that David is running. So I think he started at like 5 o'clock in the morning UK time, and we had a break, and then now we're back at 1 o'clock till 5 o'clock BST UK time. So yeah, so if you have any questions, do let us know. So cool. Let me see if I've missed any questions on the above. Let me see whether I can find out Jamie's question. I think there's one more question. Yeah, I think Jamie has posted his question again. Jamie says it was about blogging. I want to use the transcript. Oh yeah, from a Facebook Live and wanted your thoughts on my flow. Intro paragraph, light edited transcript, wrap up paragraph. Would this work for blogging? I think I want to use the transcript from, and so Jamie, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to download the transcript from Facebook Live and you're going to turn that into a blog post? I think uh, Kevin is the resident expert on blogging, so this might be a question when he comes back. We'll pick his brains on it. I think that will be the best thing. So yeah, but if in the meanwhile, if you can let us know that, that'll be great. Cool. Yes, she says. Yeah, I think Jamie wants to convert a Facebook Live transcript into a blog post. Yeah, why not? You should be able to do that. But I think Kevin can probably have will probably have some insights on how you can best structure your blog around your Facebook Live transcripts. Venkatesh says he hasn't tried the integrations. He wanted like each site to have its own integrations for payments. Was hesitant to try, not to mess up with the current integration. No, it should not really. If you can, if it allows you to integrate, then it should allow you to integrate. So you can try it. Aminata says, will there be edits on how to sell digital downloads, or is the way it is it set up final? I think currently we only support courses, but we also plan to support different product types like digital account downloads and maybe even physical products later on. But yeah, definitely you can do that. But there are tutorials uh, on tutorials.newzealand.com on using the current course structure to host your your digital downloads. I'm going to search and find you the link for that. Let me first see whether I can find it. So Zenler digital download, digital products. Yeah, I think so. You can do that. So there are several tutorials, but I think this is one of them. I'm going to chat you that. I'm going to add it in comments. Let me see whether I can find some more tutorials. Digital products. Okay, page builder tools. Yeah, I think in there are several more tutorials on tutorials.newzealand.com. So have a look at tutorials.newzealand.com, and there is a video search in there as well. So you can search the entire library of videos in there. Jamie says I asked it when he was on. Okay, so Jamie did Kevin get to your question? If not, let me know. We'll have. I think he's set to get back on the live in few minutes, so we can discuss that. Cool. So yeah, any other questions, guys? Let us know. We are here for I think around 30 odd minutes, and we can have a look. Cool. Yeah, Jamie. Sorry about that. We will when Kevin gets back on. Surely I'll give him an nudge, and hopefully he'll answer that. I'll keep that in mind about your question about transcripts and Facebook lives. So yeah. So have you started, Jamie? Have you started using the blogging functionality already on the platform, or you just treading your toes on? Just started using it. Let us know. Yeah. So whoever is live now, if you want, if you have any questions, or if you have any little annoyances on the platform, whatever you want us to look at, we can this is your time to talk to us about it, and then we can probably look at prioritizing if there is bandwidth around that. We cannot promise to prioritize every single functionality, but there is bugs and stuff, and if there is something which can improve the experience for everyone, we can definitely look at it before everything. Cool. Excellent. Jamie says she's just started using blogs. Excellent. So yeah, so hopefully Kevin will be back on soon. Cool. So let's wait for any other questions. So let me check a few things in the meanwhile. I think we do have another question from Venkatesh. Is there a way to have slider blogs, like to have show testimonials or courses? Um, I don't exactly understand what you mean, but in the page editor, if you look for slideshow, if you search for a term called slideshow, there is where you can add like a slider. I think it's hard coded to 3 slides. We're going to improve it but currently it is what it is. And then there is a slideshow. If you search for slideshow I think in blocks, you should be able to locate that. Jamie's asks, can you guide me to the domain verification information with GoDaddy? I think you mean GoDaddy. I need to set up my domain. Yeah, I think I'm going to chat you the link. Custom domain is pretty. I think there are several people discussing about GoDaddy, so you can have a search on that as well. So if you look at this, there are if you look at this particular document, you will find instructions for GoDaddy as well. So pretty much all the domain providers, the instructions are pretty much the same, just varies a bit. And there is tutorials. I think there is a YouTube video as well, or a tutorial as well. But I think the link I posted to you right now is the latest and greatest, so that should guide you. It's quite comprehensive. And also you can also ask GoDaddy support if you need help, and if you really cannot do it, if you add support at zenler.com as an assistant on your GoDaddy admin, they will be able to help you out as well. So there are several ways we can help you. Yeah, so that's that. Hey, I think David is back, and welcome back, David.
Yeah, hiya. So we're coming into the last sort of half an hour of this 8-hour mammoth session, and I just want to talk to you now about the video testimonial. So I sort of covered it in session 1, and I just want you to be aware that there's only 7 places left. So if you're in the NZ Masterclass bundle, you can jump across to where. So I'm just going to share my screen just to show you. So it's a kind of wrap up. So I really want to get you guys in on this while there's still some places available, 7 available. So I'm in the NZ Masterclass bundle. That's in tutorials.newzenler.com. Just sign up for the NZ Masterclass bundle. Most of you should already be in there. If you scroll down to the bottom, you're going to see this video testimonial. If you click that, all you've got to do, it goes straight to the lecture because the link goes straight there as it's part of the course. So you can just write your name, you know, a little bit of info if you want to, and then you can just upload your assignment here. Now, if you have trouble uploading, maybe your video is too big, you can use Handbrake to reduce the size, but I'm not going to put any pressure on you. You can just put it into a Dropbox or onto a Google Drive, and you can put the link in here, and I'll grab it anyway. So we've had, 23 videos at the moment. So I'm going to give a shout out to those people in a second. But we also down here, and you don't have to do this, but we also have a Trustpilot review as well. So if you went on there and you just do a little review for us, that would be super, super handy. You could also write a review in here and then just copy it and paste it straight into Trustpilot. So if you love the platform, please do that. It really supports us and it helps us as well. That's the whole thing behind it. But as you know, a reward for this as well, we're doing this Zenler basic marketing course, and there's going to be 30 people in there to start with. After it's run, then I'll rerun the video testimonials, take another 30 in there. And the whole idea about it is that I handhold people through the process. I don't know how long it's going to run for. It's going to run for however long it runs for. And we're probably looking at 6 weeks worth of work, but it's not going to be a ton of work. I'm going to take it very leisurely. If it runs less, if it runs more, that's fine. And I'm basically going to set assignments as you go through the course, because it is a course. You're going to have set videos that are already laid out, which I've started working on already. And in the beginning of each lesson, I'm going to hold a live and just talk you through it. And you're going to have your assignments, which are compulsory. So you need to do those. I need to approve them before you can move on to the next section. But everyone's going to come through the course together, and we're going to look at the results. Obviously not showing sensitive information or anything like that, but we're just looking at the results we're getting from it. Now, I, in particular, am just going to be launching the Surf Dude site without any courses made. Although I've been working on things, I haven't got the course ready yet. So I'm going to be, in my particular case, I'm going to be launching the Surf Dudes to get pre-registrations, to get leads into my site for when I actually convert them. And I'll be talking about methods that I'm doing it. All of the methods that I use to market. This is a completely new area to me. You know, obviously I surf, but to actually turn this into a business is, you know, it's brand new. My whole thing is all creativity and doing jewelry design, 3D design, and design websites, all these sort of things. So this is completely new. So it'll be really interesting for you guys to see completely new coming to this, launching a site and getting people come in and then converting them to sales later. So you're going to see all of that, and I'm going to keep you posted on how it's going and show you the numbers. Now, this is going to be really interesting for you because you're going to see the numbers coming in, where they're coming in from, and analyzing these things. So you've got to get into this. So I only got 7 more. I'm going to give a shout out to the people that we've already got the testimonials for. So yeah, we've got Kat, we've got Anita, she's on there, and Sunita. They sent a great little video here. We've got Ankush here, who's done it in a portrait. Landscape's always better because it's just going to show. If you can do HD landscape, it's better for us. We've got Anne Morrison, we've got Asa Reidhard, we've got Bergier, we've got Brad Poinia, we've got Deborah McPhillamy, we've got Frank Elder, Giselle Sutton. By the way, Giselle's a old friend of mine, her husband Ian, they actually do a culinary course. He's a chef, and he teaches at a university level, and that I brought them across onto Zenler. I actually created a WordPress site for them, and then I was like, do you know what, Zenler's the way to go. So she signed up for Pro from there. So I've talked her through a few bits and pieces, and she's now doing it on her own, so she doesn't need me anymore. Then we've got Islam Usuri, we've got Jackie Mohan, we've got John Orion, who always helps out on the Sunday lives. We've got Laura Donnelly, we've got Linda from Wow Bow Wow, she's a dog trainer, probably guessed. Lisa Bildo, we've got Lynn Kerr, we've got Manda Marath, Marissa Volka, Melissa Cara, we've got Steve Ballinger, who did a very, very professional video. Lots of overlays and things coming in there. It's brilliant. Tracy Browning, we've got Tracy Brind. She's on the chat. No, she said hello to Kevin. She loved the blog challenge. William Song, I helped him redesign his site for the branding design course, and that is our number. And I've got a few more that I need to add that I haven't downloaded up yet. But you can see we're filling up quickly, so I'm getting those ready. And what we're going to do with those is we're going to be using those for our kind of promotion and stuff. So it's good to have all people's video talking about stuff. And of course, we like written reviews as well. It's really important to us, especially as we head towards launch, you know. So we're not launching yet, don't worry, but we're just preparing things, getting things in place so that we can take this all to market and really get the numbers coming in. Okay, so that's the video testimonials. So just make sure that you go there, NZ Masterclass, and go to the video testimonials. So any questions come in? So, she did a Trustpilot review. That's brilliant. I would love this. Well, you know where to go, Jamie. I need this marketing. Get on there and do a video testimonial for us, and then you can get in there. 7 places left. You should be all right. Sinise says, no questions, but me and my twin sister realizes that a couple of our cousins are called David and Kevin.
That's crazy.
It is, yeah. No Rakesh, though. That's not fair. Youngest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rakesh, that is amazing.
Yes. And amazing. Yeah.
That is, isn't it?
That's crazy.
Maybe we should get him on live.
Yes.
That's brilliant. So no more questions coming in.
Cool. I think there was a question from Jamie. She wanted to ask about downloading from transcript from Facebook and then Facebook Live, and then uploading and then adding it, posting it as a blog post. But I think we'll wait for probably Kevin, if he is able to hop on, I think, before we end the session.
Yeah, he might pop back. I'm not sure. He's quite busy today, I think. So
yes. So let's see. Hopefully
he hopped off and on. Yeah, if not, I'll try and answer that later. One thing is worth having a chat about here is the media library. This is an area where you can upload things and the difference between things. So I'm just going to quickly share my screen. So the media library, whenever you load anything up, it will pop up into the media library here. If you're using any media for like a zip file, for instance, or even a PDF, and this has happened a few times where people have put the link into a funnel. So like the last step of the funnel might be download a cheat sheet, you know, and you've got it as a zip file. And people have had problems because people can't download it. And the simple reason that they can't actually download it is because of the privileges of that particular file. So if you put a PDF or any document on your website and you want public people to be able to download it, you need to change the setting for it. So for instance, I got this CTA block theme zip here. Okay. And if I go to here, which is share file, you're going to see that link sharing on this is logged in users with the link can download. Now, what that means is only people that are registered on the site are able to download it because they're logged in on the site. People that are not logged in will not be able to download it with this link. Okay, so when you're doing any kind of free giveaway in any of your funnels, or if you've got it on any public pages, just make sure that for those files you change this, because this is the default logged in users with a link can download. We keep it as default because we think that you'll probably want to keep it private. So that's why we default it to LinkedIn users only, logged in users. So if you want to make it for a public file to download, you need to go to anyone with a link to download. Okay, now you set that, nothing changes here, it's just marked. So now when you go to share this link, which you can copy here, it's going to allow them to download it. All right, so I'll show you what happens. I'm going to go logged in users, okay, and then I'm going to click here. So I've now selected this, but it's for logged in users. Now I'm going to go to incognito and I'm going to paste that URL in there, and I'm going to hit this. And what you're going to see is it goes to my login page of the site. So in this case, tutorials. So it's not going to let me download it. It's asking me to log in. So if I set up an account, if I signed up and I logged in, I would then be able to use that URL to download it. So let's go and change this now from anyone with a link can download. So let me copy it again. And what you're going to see is I'm now able to download it. So I'm going to put that in there now. I'm going to hit enter, and you're going to see straight away that it hasn't worked. Let me just save it out. Let's just click done and save that. So anyone with a link. Those gremlins are back. There we go. So there we go. So it was just a cache issue. So now it's actually downloaded. So you can see in my download folder, I've actually got that zip file just popped straight into there because it's anyone with a link. So probably that little error occurred because I didn't change it and click done. So it didn't save it. So you need to make sure that you do that. It's a big problem that people have. They're like, why is it not working? Why can't I download it? And pretty much 99 times out of 100, it is because they haven't changed this over. Okay. So just a little tip for you, especially as we were talking about marketing funnels in session 1. Guys, session 1 that we did this morning, completely different content to what you're seeing now on this 1 o'clock session, our second session. So if you're interested, we did cover responsive issues. We covered funnels, branching funnels. We covered a lot of different stuff than we covered. In fact, everything was different to what we're doing now in this session. So it's well worth you watching the live that we did this morning because there's golden nuggets of information. Rakesh was on there. He's been on here all day, backing me up on this. I didn't expect him to be here all day. So thank you so much, Rakesh, for spending that time doing this. So let's see if there's any questions with this. So I need this marketing. So James, okay, thanks, good. So with Zoom, if I am correct, there is a credit on how many we can have counted as credit. What is counted as credit as well? Okay, so yeah, if you've got a pro account, you have a certain amount of credits that you can use. Now you've got also a certain amount of emails as well. If you go to tutorials.newzenler.com, you can see a breakdown of the features. I'm not sure the credits for live is on there yet. I need to check that. But you do have a certain amount of credits for your account. Now, if I go into I'm going to go into my live account because I haven't really done any on my courses site. So I'm not sharing the screen yet just because it's sensitive information, because I've got lots of paying students and I can't share their info. So let me jump across to my account and stats. All right. So good. Right. So here we go. So I haven't run any lives through my Mojo course at the moment. I don't feel I need to at this stage, but it's something I'm ramping up to. I'm just waiting for the paid sessions to come in on the lives before I launch it. So inside here, you're going to see that we have under the account here, you can go down to my account, and inside here, you can see the stats. So here is the stats for the sender reputation. Obviously, I've not sent many out at all, but it gives you the amount of sessions that you can see. So you've got 25 live 2-hour sessions. This is a pro account, by the way. You've got 10 super extended live sessions, which is up to 4 hours. You've got recurring live classes, 3 recurring live webinars. I've got 0 in there. So is that correct, Rakesh? Hello? I'm not sure. Right, okay. So I'm not sure Rakesh is with us anymore, but that's strange. I would have thought that would be in there. So recurring live class, I've got to get clarification on that, because that should be more. So I've got 3 reoccurring live classes, total 3 out of 100. So I'm not sure how that's working, but that's where you can see the stats. So if you go into your account for your settings, you can jump in and you can view the stats through your account. So that answers your question there, I think. So any other questions? So let's have a look with Zoom. I can correct the credit. So we've done that one. Does that mean students can download our videos? No. Aminata, so downloading videos, if you zip the videos and set them up as a download, yes, they could. By default, you can't just download the videos. So you'd have to zip them up for it to be downloadable on the platform. So I know that's a question that's been asked, can you download the videos on the site? But no, so not unless you zip them. So, well, so Jamie as well. So you can download from Z, no more storing in Drive. No, absolutely. Yeah. So even if you sent me, if it's open to me, if you put your video testimonial and you zip it up and put it on the file, then and sent me the link, I could download it. By rule of thumb, we don't like you just stop using Zenler to store data. It should be data that you're actually using or selling through a course, just for the reason that, you know, it can bog. If everybody used it as a storage facility, it just becomes crazy, you know. So watch that. So if you have got something like a Google Drive, I think free Google account is 15 gigabytes. That should be enough. Have multiple Google accounts. If you set up a test Gmail account, you've got 15 gigabytes. Set up a company one, you've got another 15, you've got 30 gigabytes. So that should be enough to temporarily store stuff or send them out as downloads. You'll probably see that on the tutorials.new Zenler, we've got PR media section. And inside that section, I actually just drive you to a drive where all the media is on there. Let me go there now. I'll just quickly share with you. So there we go. So yeah, tutorials.newzenler.com. You can come into PR media, click in here, and you can see this is all on our drive. So this is just for partners to download essential stuff that they need to sell the platform. And that's through a Google Drive. So try and use Google Drive. That's what it's designed for, rather than use the Zenler site as a media bank. All right. Of course, if you're using that media as part of the course, then that's a different thing. So Jamie's happy with that. Jamie's great job, guys. So that's good. All right. So have you got any questions? Oh, you must have a question. Just one question. Have I answered everything? Right. So basically to wrap up, so next time we do this all day, we're going to be a little bit better prepared. Like I said to you, I'm going to do the all day session, and I'm going to basically build a site. So you're going to start with a basic Zenler site, and we're going to take all the default pages and we're going to actually turn it into a site. So I'm going to do it all live in front of you. I'm going to ask you at the time what subject you want me to pick, and then I'm going to design it based around that. So with that will come it's really easy to set a site up and design it. And I'll show you my best methods for setting a site up to make it as quick as possible. We'll also use that same subject and create a course from it as well. So there's going to be a lot of things going on, because obviously I'm going to be choosing a color palette and all these sort of things, and set the branding and just have a talk about those things. And in between all of those, whenever a question comes in there, I'm going to answer them. So we're going to see whether I can build a whole site, a course, and answer all the questions coming in the 8 hours. So it's going to be a real challenge, but it's going to be good because I have things to do. So I won't have to write little notes on bits of paper like that. I can just run through it. So Jamie's asking, when am I doing that? I'm doing that. We're going to run these all day Zenlers. We're going to try and do it once a month. So we're going to be setting up a form. Yeah, it's going to be good fun, but we're going to be setting a form up for you to ask questions in advance. So I've got a pool of questions, and I'm going to be trying doing this as well. So it's going to be full on. I don't know if we'll change the hours. We're playing around. This morning was quite busy. I think this afternoon is actually busier. So it's all good. I might poll it as well. I might do a poll asking people. The whole point of like us doing 8 hours was to try and cover lots of time zones, because me in particular, I feel because we're in the UK, for our Southern Hemisphere people that are on completely different time zone. So we're trying to, within reason, we're trying to meet all the time zones as it comes across. But it's a hard thing to do, because obviously, 5 a.m. in the morning is quite early. If I go any earlier, it's I was saying to Rakesh, maybe we'll do a night with Zenler.
Yeah, I think 5 to 7 a.m. UK time is probably like a quiet time. Maybe we can start a bit later or something. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe work. Maybe work a bit later, and then work. Run it later, and then run it later into the night as well.
Yep.
See how that works. So it's all trial and error. We're trying to make sure that everybody gets access to us, rather than just sort of the Europe, our time zones in Europe. So we're trying to do this. So but UK afternoons are superb on Friday. So yeah, that's good. So we'll analyze all the data anyway from these things, and we'll make sure the time, but that'll be what we're going to do for the next live. So Fridays are great. So everyone seems to like Fridays. I was thinking Fridays, but people are at work on Fridays. I like my Sunday lives because it's like Sundays, but Fridays seem to be good. Yeah, well, we'll have a chat, but we'll make sure that we put lots of information up. So I'll actually create 2 events as well. I didn't create an event. I just run it straight into the Facebook group. I was thinking this is more of a trial. So just to see if I could do 8 hours with Rakesh and Kevin's support, it's been possible. And if I have more of a target that I'm going for, it will become quicker as well. It'll be easier for me. So if I'm actually creating a site and creating a course, and then I've got questions in there as well, then it's good, rather than just finding tips and tricks for you guys to do on the way through. It'll actually be more of a pipeline. So really good. I think we're kind of about to wrap up. I think it's like 8 minutes before scheduled, but if no one's got any question, I don't want to jump with 8 minutes to go. I don't want to jump into a new subject. So Rakesh, have you got any last minute things to say, or?
No, nothing else. I think let me see if any other questions are there. I don't see any. I think yeah, I was talking about I think someone called, I think Howard was asking about a site, if you remember. He had some issues with the site, and looks like he just checked with support. Looks like Howard hasn't pointed the site properly. That's why he had the issue with the custom domain.
Oh, so yeah, so a CNAME record problem.
I don't know. I mean, something like that. Yeah. See, basically,
Yeah.
if you don't support properly, do not point it correctly, obviously it's not going to work, right? So
Yeah, and this is something that comes up from time to time. It's like we've done tutorials on a few different hosting packages to show you how it's done. We've updated the document as well. Rakesh has updated it all. But there's so many different hosting platforms out there. It's really hard for us to do tutorials on every single one. You know, what I do say is watch like maybe the GoDaddy one, and the principles of changing the CNAME record and stuff are the same throughout. If you need to go to your platform support and ask them, then they should help you out, you know, because you're dealing with a different platform. It's like there's a lot of questions coming about integration. We stay on the Zenler platform as much as possible. We do help a little bit outside of it, but those platforms are their own platforms. They have got their own support, and you should be asking them to how to do certain things as well. It shouldn't be up to us because we work with the Zenler platform. But having said that, we do help. If there's a lot of questions come in, we do try to do videos on it. Okay, so I think that's about it. Last thing is, I just want to say thank you to Rakesh again and Kevin for jumping on. So we did it, Rakesh.
cool. Yeah, I think great. Big thanks to David for this a marathon session. I think it started like early 5 o'clock, and it's the break in between. Yeah, it's excellent. I think we had, I think, continuously, like we had several people asking us questions, and it was an experiment, and I think it went pretty well.
Yeah, so it is a success. So we will be doing more of them. Like we mentioned, we're going to make sure that we announce it more. I'm going to set up 2 events for the next one, and we'll also put a form on there where you can fill out your questions. So if you guys, you know, you can't attend, at least you can put your questions in there, and then we've got a sort of little list to work through. And as I said before, we're going to be creating a site, and we're going to be creating a course that you say. So if you're on the live, you can say it. So maybe in the morning I do the site, and then, or in the afternoon, and in the later session, then I build the course. So it'd be easy to do because Zenler's so quick to build a site and to build a course, as is proven by the Quick Start Guide, where it's done in 2 hours, 40 minutes for a whole site and a course. So check the Quick Start Guide out for you new guys. But Rakesh disappeared. I thought he went on holiday. So you disappeared for a bit, Rakesh, apparently.
Who's that?
Anita is saying thanks to David, Rakesh, and Kevin. Thanks, guys. So yeah, we're wrapping up now, and we will announce we're back on Wednesday with office hours, and of course I've got the live running on Sunday. So if you want to ask more questions and those sort of things, make sure you jump on Sundays live. You can find that at tutorials.newzenler.com. Just go down to latest events and jump on that live workshop in there. And remember the video testimonial, 7 places left. I'm pretty sure by the end of tonight, another 3 or 4 of them will be gone. So get on there as quick as you can. And take care, guys. Again, thanks,
Cool.
Rakesh. And
Cool. Thanks.
yeah, see you soon.
Thanks, everyone. See you soon. Bye-bye.